99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't covering my cloth, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play.
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying and selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up to sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving a mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing a visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Atlanta. We have Joaquin Buckley going against Kamaru Usman. We have an absolute fire 13-fight card coming up in the next week. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this card. Just looking through it, outside of the trash, Jamie Horth, Vanessa Demopoulos fight Wheezy. This card's pretty good. Pretty good from top to bottom outside of that kind of trash fight. We have Malcolm Wellmaker stepping in here against Chris Moutinho. Glad to see Chris Moutinho back in here. And yeah, a lot of fun fights on the main card. We got our guy Cody Brundage coming back. So I think this card is going to be very, very fun. I'm looking forward to breaking it down with you and in the chat here.
Yeah, whenever they go to the cities and they get out of the Apex, they just cannot be lax on the matchmaking. They've got to do something that's going to put asses in the seats. And you got hometown fighters and Malcolm Wellmaker and Cody Dirt in here. You got Joaquin Buckley's kind of from the area, St. Louis, not too far from Atlanta. You got some hometown fighters. You got some exciting matchups. You got some veterans fighting each other in Kesa and McGee, and you got the Menfield C fight's a great light heavyweight fight, as is the Craig Bellato fight, which we were supposed to see a couple of weeks ago. You got some prospects like Mansour Abdul Malik and Jose Ochoa. And, Ricky Simon versus Jourdain, that's the third fight of the night. That's a high-level bantamweight fight. We've seen Ricky Simon fight in some main events. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun card. And, yeah, we're going to find out a little bit more about Joaquin Buckley, who's just on a tour of beating up old men, with Wonderboy Thompson. And then the last time out, another old man. And now we got Kamaru Usman, a guy who has to walk up the stairs backwards because his knees are so fucked up. So, yeah, man, it's going to be a fun card, though, man. And Brady, it's always more fun when we make money watching it by making good bets. So let's try to find some spots that are sticking out this week. It seems like this could be a decent week for some underdogs.
Yeah. My mic was being stupid. Yeah, no, a lot of spots are sticking out already. Can't wait to break it down and see what we can come up with on the show. Let's go through the chat real quick, and then we'll do the recap of last night. We got Sam, first one in the building. What is up, Brady Weezy? And by the way, if you guys go to the YouTube chat, you can see the poll for who needs to get help. Off the top of my head, I think I put Jekka in there. I put Patchy Mix in there. May have put O'Malley in there, and I think Spivak. I think I put those four in there. So let me know what you guys think. Who needs to get the most help after last night? Because a couple people do need some help after last night. Absolutely. We got Elijah One. Good to see you in here, Elijah One. Patchy looked drunk. He certainly did. We got MMA's biggest fan 23. At this point, any PFL fighter should be an auto fade in the UFC. Get some help, Patchy, and that was very bad. Very bad. Or he was paid to lose. Kayla spilling Vixen milk from Sea to Shining Sea. Yes, some milk was certainly spilled. Can I see your toes? This dude, Aaron, he keeps asking to see my feet and keep my toes. Like every video I post, I think get a comment from Aaron. It's getting kind of terrifying.
Brady, I mean, maybe we bring it upon ourselves by talking about Wiki Feet on a show like this. It's going to bring out all the freaks, and we got enough freaks that are watching us. Shout out Loosa Soli. Shout out Barry McCockiner. Shout out Dixon Cider. Shout out Buster Cherry. Shout out Pat McCrotch. All these people that are hanging out in our chat. We got a lot of dirty, filthy people.
You forgot Dr. Peener. Hopefully Dr. Peener makes an appearance.
We need more people with master's degrees and med school degrees like the Dr. Peener. I mean, we need more like him here. High level medical analysis from Dr. Peener. Shout out Dr. Peener.
Heck yeah. Shout out Dan, half the battle. See y'all in Atlanta. I know Dan's going to the card. Gets to watch Wellmaker live in person. Gets to watch a murder live in person. My goodness, what are they doing? Gets to watch Cody Durden, Jose Ochoa. That fight's going to be fun. So enjoy it, Dan. Should be a really, really fun card. On paper, looks incredible. We got Chronic Combat Conversation. Just keep digging. Agreed. Weezy killed it last night. Well done, sir. Yes, Weezy had a very, very phenomenal night. We'll talk about that pretty soon here. Milking of the Week stays undefeated at 14-0. 14-0.
Wow.
I know, isn't that crazy? 14-0. That's
amazing.
It's amazing. We got Yippee Ki-Yay, the perfect duo in MMA capping. DFS brings the insight and entertainment. Weezy's on a fire streak, like he came from the future. Stats, picks, laughs, and wins. The time traveler and the showman. Let's ride. Yippee Ki-Yay. Good to see you in here. Still can't believe how bad Mix was. Yeah, it kind of surprised me myself. We got Dix in the building. We got Dix Insider, one of the moderators of the chat, saying Chaos Williams is such a bum. He should be released first thing tomorrow morning and go to Bare Knuckle FC. That's where he belongs, because I most certainly ain't buying a house from him now. He gets a one star. Is he a realtor?
I did not know that. If he's a realtor, I did not know that.
I wish I would have knew that going in. What I did see, though, is apparently Chaos Williams was doing his camp at Planet Fitness.
What?
I swear, you go to his Instagram, all of his posts are at Planet Fitness. No wonder he lost 30-26.
Dude, there's a Planet Fitness 1 block from me, Brady. So I work out there, and I'm willing to say, as a Planet Fitness, somebody who works out there, that it's the biggest bunch of candy asses I've ever seen actually exercising in one place. So, like, I gotta just. I thought you were kidding, because it's just, I mean, like, that is not where, like, tough people go to work out.
It's bad, man. It's bad. He literally did.
I work out there, like, it's.
His hidden pads at Planet
Fitness.
Hidden pads at Planet Fitness is wild. Just wild.
A place where there's signs on the wall about the horrible crime of gym intimidation. And Chaos Williams is in there, who's one of the meanest looking dudes. Like, come on. Who's letting Chaos Williams into a Planet Fitness, man? If he came into my Planet Fitness, I'd be like, I'm out of here.
It's
I
crazy.
don't want to accidentally bump into that dude.
It's great. So from now on, I'm fading fighters that do their camp at Planet Fitness.
Oh my god,
bad. It's bad. Malik wasted a year away from weed for now. Yeah, he didn't jade the peen for about a year. Maybe he should have jade the peen. I don't know.
Maybe.
We got Forrest. Milk the subscribe button, pipe up that like button. Both Patchy Mix and Spivak get some freaking help. Well, you can vote, Forrest. Let me know who you think needs to get some help. We'll catch up on that shortly here. KC, perfectly on time as usual. Yes. Perfectly on time. I think we even started like 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Patchy is trash. Yeah, a lot of people very upset with Patchy Mix. And I did post a tweet last night, and the tweet read, "How ass is Patchy Mix?" And that tweet got like 2,000 likes. It has like almost 400 bookmarks. 400 people bookmarked that tweet. It was a nice ass. It was a very nice ass, but that was ridiculous. Jekka's dumb effing hat and overconfidence caused that loss. Yeah, that was fun. That was an incredible knockout. Patchy stiff as a board. Patchy was fighting in quicksand. I don't even know what that was. I mean, that fight felt like it just took forever. One of the worst fights of the night of mine. Unless you had a bet on Batista like Uncle Weezy. Weezy's probably enjoying that. Mixes and wrestling? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. No takedown attempts? Yes. Easy. We got Green King. Oh, let's go. Nice to see Wellmaker get on the ATS. Yes. UFC 316 live was crazy. I bet it was, man. I bet it was crazy to see that card live. I mean, that card last night was pretty good. I think it was a pretty good card overall. I'm gonna break. She'll break your back. You're not breaking her. She'll break your back. She'll break your back, Justin. You are not breaking hers. Oh yeah, has anybody checked in on Jekka Sergey? Has he woken up yet? Were they able to wake him up?
I don't know, dude. So my ESPN Plus wasn't working at all, Brady. I couldn't watch the fights at all, and it's a horrible product even when it is working. But sometimes it doesn't even work, and that's where you have to watch the fights. So like it deliberately wasn't working. I even sent out screenshots and tweeted them out. So I literally had to I missed the first 3 fights of the night because the place that I pay to watch the fights is literally the only thing on my computer that doesn't work, and that's ESPN Plus. Get some help, ESPN Plus. You're 10 times worse than Patchy Mix. But yeah, so I missed the fight. Like I thought I was going to see like the second or third round of that fight. Wrong. It was over very quick from what I understand.
It was over in about 30 seconds. About 30 seconds. F. Mary Kill, Wong Kong, Loma Luke Boonmi, or Liang Na. I'm gonna marry Loma. Loma is a girl that feels like she's a great wife, a great partner. Make you breakfast in the morning type thing. So I'd marry Loma. Oh God, I gotta F my girl Liang Na, right? I get it. Yeah, gotta F her, and then I guess I'm killing Kong Wong.
Yeah, that's the exact way that I'm going because Liang Na is going to be really fun for about 90 seconds, and then Loma, like you say, I mean, like Thai food, somebody that can cook you some good Thai food, that'd be a good thing. And then, yeah, Wong Kong's a little bit arrogant, a little, and sometimes maybe you're just like, all right, you know what, you're arrogant, you die. And then but I mean, it's hard. You don't want to kill anybody. I'm not a murderer.
You don't.
So yeah, I don't want to kill anybody, but yeah, that would be, since it's a fictional, hypothetical game, that's what I'm going with as well.
Yeah, after me and Liang Na are done, it's going to look like that Carnelosi fight. We're going to have Song Yudong come in and scrape up Liang Na, pick her up, and take her to the corner after I'm done with her. Can we edit that? Can we edit that out? Let's get the editors. We're going to edit that out. We'll edit that part out.
Talk to our producer.
Yeah, we'll talk to the producer about that. Yeah. Patchy Mix, cockiest fighter in the UFC. We knew Jekka sucked, but Patchy and O'Malley were downright atrocious given their perceived abilities. Yeah, disappointing performance from both of them. Absolutely. Marcel with the OnlyFans. What? Shout out to Harry Balzac. Shout out to Harry Balzac.
Yes.
Dr. Peener. Yeah, hopefully Dr. Peener's in here. Jessica's OnlyFans coming your way. I think she deleted it. Or no, they made her take it off, right? The government in Brazil. They banned it. They made her take it off.
Some dudes in black SUVs and with walkie-talkies were like, shut it down. Shut it down.
So, we got Justin Cash sending the cash with a $2 dono, and he says it again. He doubled down on his take. He's gonna break Kayla Harrison's back, and I'm gonna double down saying, no, you're not. She's gonna break your back. She's gonna break your back. Appreciate you, Justin Cash, for the cash. Ref Cocaine Keith Peterson needs help. Can you and him add him to the poll? Yeah. What's up with Keith Peterson, man? Is he okay?
He lost a ton of weight, dude.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, like cocaine weight loss, or he's got a parasite, or he got on the Ozempic, or I don't know what happened there, but Keith lost a lot of weight, and I'm worried because that usually means that you stop drinking.
Yeah. Yep. I'm canceling my Planet Fitness membership. I'm not a candy ass. Oh, yeah. No offense to people with Planet Fitness, man. I mean, we've all been to Planet Fitness, right? Nothing's wrong with Planet Fitness. You just shouldn't be training MMA.
I mean, you don't train MMA at Planet Fitness, man. It's just, you don't do that.
You just don't. Oh. Whose ass was that? I don't remember. I think it was somewhere on Instagram. I know people were asking. I don't remember where I found that, but I screenshotted it last week, knowing that I can use it in the future, and I used it actually twice last night for Patchy Mix and O'Malley. You guys are right on time, and I was later than my mistress's period. Oh my god!
Oh hell!
Oh my goodness.
Heyo. Good luck to you.
They carried Jekka out like 6 people. I saw it recorded. Yeah, it was bad.
Really?
It was brutal.
Dude, it
Fell
was that
face.
bad?
Oh, it was bad. Check left hook landed perfectly. Jekka face planted into the canvas, and then you landed just like a really unnecessary follow-up shot. Like Jekka was already dead, and then you landed a nasty follow-up shot. It was very bad. We got Justin Cash with another dono. Appreciate you, Justin Cash. He says, I need Kayla to put me in a triangle choke. Oh, God.
That would hurt so bad, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Appreciate you. Yeah, we do get word on Kennedy. Kennedy's going to be fighting in a couple weeks here.
Yeah.
We got a Dogfather. Good stuff last week, guys. You as well, Dogfather. Good to see you in here. We got Marcel saying, dude, Kayla is so big in person. It's ridiculous. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Wong Tong got the win. What? So middle. So finger. What?
Dude,
instead of smoking cigarettes, he's smoking Ozempic. Thanks for the 2-3 Van bet parade. Yeah, for the first time in a long time, Van 2-3 finally cashes after like bad beat after bad beat. It finally cashes. Thank goodness. Show me something, fighter. Yeah, luckily Herzog wasn't reffing that one. He'd be like, move, fighter, move. But Herzog, he's dead. He's literally dead. He can't move, Herzog. Move. He can't. All right. So let's do a quick recap of last night. I think combined, we almost combined for like almost 15 units tracked last night. I know untracked, you had an even bigger night. So I'll let you kick it off. How was UFC 316 for you?
Yeah, so it was one of my best nights ever as a gambler. I had one unit on the Sean O'Malley money line. That was a loser. I had one unit on the Waldo Cortez Acosta money line, which I got at plus 149. So that cashed for me. So I was up 0.49 units on my tracked money line bets. And then some props that I had my biggest prop bet was 1.5 units on the fight doesn't go to decision for Bruno Silva versus Josh Van. And man, that was close. 14 minutes in, Josh Van gets the finish by KO, which was spectacular. Had one unit on Waldo Cortez Acosta to win by decision. I jumped on it when it opened on Bet Online at plus 525 because I'm like, it'll never get any better than that. And it opened up at like plus 650 and 700 on some of the regional books. But yeah, I thought that Waldo was going to be able to stop the takedowns and keep it at distant striking range, stay behind the jab, and kind of outwork Sergey and win a decision. And it wound up being a pretty good read. I don't understand how Waldo won round one on all three judges' scorecards, but I also don't really understand how Sergey won round three on all three judges' scorecards either. So I don't know, close enough. But if I'm paying plus 525 and the fight played out that way, I thought that was a great bet. I cashed on Mario Batista to win by decision at plus 275. And as happy as I was to cash that bet, when I was watching that fight, Brady, I really felt bad for the people who bet on Patchy Mix because that was one of the worst fucking performances I've ever seen. Like what it brought me back to was remembering how I felt when I was watching Michelle Pereira in the Abus Magomedov fight, where I was like, holy shit, dude, I told people to bet on this guy, you know, and you just can't help it. You don't know that he's going to go out there and just pull down his pants and spread his cheeks and just take a rip right in the middle of the octagon in front of thousands of fans in beautiful Newark, New Jersey. You know, I mean, nobody wants to see that, but that's exactly what Patchy did. And, that was hard to watch, dude. I mean, I remember I was like yelling at the TV, like, Patchy, what are you doing? How are you not wrestling here? It was just god awful. So my sincere condolences to anybody who bet on him, because as gamblers, we can't help what these guys do in the cage. I mean, we knew that Patchy is the better grappler. He's got great back takes. He's got great front chokes, and he's very dangerous when he finds himself in those positions. But he didn't do anything to make that happen. I don't know if he was waiting for Mario to wrestle. I don't know what the game plan was there, man, but that was just awful. But yeah, I cashed 2.75 units on Batista to win by decision, and I cashed 1.95 units on Chaos Andreas Gustafsson to go to decision, which I got at plus 195. The losing bets were Sean O'Malley by decision, 1 unit at plus 700. I had a quarter unit on Yanal Ashmos to win by decision. I had a quarter unit on Vicente Luque to win by submission, and I lost the probability parlay where the losing leg was Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week to win inside the distance. It was Joe Pfeiffer, and I was saying that Gastelum was never going to be hit as hard as Pfeiffer was going to hit him, and holy shit, did Pfeiffer hit him hard a couple of times. Flush head kick right on the jaw. And yeah, Gastelum eats it like a chimichanga and keeps going. That dude is legit the most durable guy in the UFC. I think him and Vittori, some of the most difficult guys to finish. You know, Marlon Vera, Pedro Munoz. There are some guys that are just never going to be finished, and he's one of them. You know, I mean, in terms of being knocked out, that is. And that was rough because that could have been another 4 units. But you know, I was up 9.89 units tracked, Brady. But I hit the greasy 4-legger this week that I give out on Just the Tip every week. That came in at around almost plus 600. And then the take this job and shove it parlay, Brady, was Waldo Cortez Acosta to win by decision. The fight to go to decision in the Chaos Williams versus Andreas Gustafsson fight. And then Josh Van to win by KO was leg 3 plus 58.88. And so we're sitting there watching it, and Josh Van has got like 3 knockdowns. He was swarming them a couple of different times. And I was there with my friends, and I go, guys, it's just not going to happen. We're going to get this close, and they're going to torture us. And then with 1 minute left in the fight, we all get catapulted out of our seats by the 4th Josh Van knockdown, which winds up finishing the fight, cashing the take this job and shove it parlay at almost 60-1. So I cashed almost 15 units on the take this job and shove it parlay because there were all those profit boosts out there for UFC 316. I cashed 5 units on the greasy 4-legger this week, so up 10 units tracked, up almost 20 units on the take this job or on my parlays untracked. So yeah, man, almost 30 units on this card, and it broke a long losing streak. So as good as it felt to have a big week this week, I really needed it, Brady, because I was on a bad skid. So it's not just about having a big week last week. Now I got to stack a couple more wins like flapjacks here. We got to find some spots that are sticking out this week and extend the winning streak to 2 weeks and keep the ball rolling. It's summertime, Brady. It's the best time of the year, man. We're going to be outside touching grass, and on Saturday we're going to be inside touching green. We're going to be making money betting on these UFC fights. So let's make some money this week too. You're muted.
No, I was. Are you finished talking?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm finished now. Yeah, you're unmuting. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. I want to make sure you finished there. But yeah, congrats, Weezy, on the incredible night. For me, I was very happy with how last night played out. My first bet of the night, I got like a ton of CLV. I had the Mark the Shark plus 3.5 point spread, got it at plus 120, closed around like minus 155. And yeah, I mean, he showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of toughness, but wasn't really able to wrestle and get the wrestling going as much as I thought. And only one judge gave him just 1 round. So the plus 3.5 did not cash. My next bet was the Jusung Yu Jekasaragi fight doesn't go to decision. And yeah, this was something that I liked a lot last week. Got it at minus 200 for 2 units. I thought that, Jekka, killer be killed fighter. Thought the fight would finish. Didn't think it would finish that quick. I kind of thought it would maybe be later in the fight, but you finished him in 30 seconds. Kind of a sweat-free violence prop there. Next bet was pretty frustrating. I had the Wong Kong Ariana De Silva fight ends by knockout plus 210 for 1.25 units. And I'm kind of shocked that Wong Kong could not get her out of there. I mean, De Silva was coming in there with a tumor. She probably didn't have the best camp. She missed weight by 6 pounds, and her leg was completely done. And I thought she was about to finish like late second round when she kicked her leg, and just there was a really bad reaction from De Silva, but she kind of let her off the hook, didn't really follow up, and fight ends up going 15 minutes somehow. So yeah, lost on that. I thought that was not a bad bet at all. Plus 210. I thought the knockout was kind of right there. My worst bet of the night was Sergey Spivak to win inside the distance. Beat a lot of line movement on it. The CLV curse. And yeah, horrible performance by Sergey. Thought it was a really close fight, but I had the inside the distance, so it didn't really matter. I was not able to get the wrestling going. Spivak's striking did look pretty good. I was kind of surprised to see the striking numbers were 110 to 48 in favor of Waldo, because watching it live, I thought it was a lot closer than that. But yeah, that was probably my worst bet of the night. I had the Ozamot Mirzakhanov and the under 1.5 same game parlay, 1.5 units at minus 125. Ozamot is usually like a 2-3 guy, but I thought Ribeiro just, a lot more aggressive. He's going to leave some openings, and he did, and he got hurt bad. And the fight was probably finished like 30 unanswered punches too late there. This was the big one that made my night here. We got Joshua Van Bruno Silva. I as well was on the fight doesn't go to decision. I think I got it at plus 120 for 1.25 units, and I also had a half unit shot on Joshua Van KO 2-3. And I wasn't going to bet it. I wasn't going to bet Joshua Van 2-3 because I bet it against Ray Saruya, and he landed a body kick into the third round. Jason Herzog said it was a low blow. Fight goes the distance. I bet Van 2-3 against Durden. I still don't know how that fight didn't finish. I think I probably had Van 2-3 against Charez, where he rocked Charez 50 times in that fight. So yeah, a lot of bad beats in a row with these Josh Van 2-3 props, but I'm like, if I don't bet it and he hits, I'm going to be pissed off. If he finally finishes in round 3, I'm going to be absolutely pissed off. So I ended up betting it, and that was like plus 410 for that Joshua Van 2-3 KO. So that came through. That was huge. My biggest bet of the night was Kevin Holland to win inside the distance. I actually got reverse CLV'd here. And when you get reverse CLV'd, I actually feel very good about it. It seems when I get reverse CLV, like my bets cash all the time. I got Kevin Holland inside the distance at minus 105. It closed as high as I saw, like plus 110. And I had 2.5 units on that. And yeah, the reason I bet the inside the distance was because I actually could have see like a Darce or an Anaconda, and that's exactly what happened. Holland, I thought, was going to finish him in the first round by strikes. Got kind of close, hurt Luque there, but got that nice Anaconda choke in the second round. So that was huge. Sealed a winning night with that bet right there. This is probably, it's between the Sergey Spivak inside the distance or this bet. I had Patchy Mix by submission. I got it at plus 400. It closed at like plus 200. And he went out there and proceeded to attempt a total of, they call it one takedown attempt in the third round, but it was the most like half-assed takedown attempt you'd ever see. He goes out there and just completely shits the bed. So lost on the Patchy Mix by sub. I had Harrison Pena, the under 3.5 rounds for 2 units, minus 112. That came through. And then I had the fight ends by split decision in the Merab and Sean O'Malley fight. And I said it. I said, I haven't bet a split decision prop in a very long time. And the reason I don't, because every time I bet a split prop, it could be any fight. It's finishing. The fight's finishing. And surprisingly, Merab Dvalishvili submits Sean O'Malley. Like, that's a shocking result. I picked Merab. I picked him to win by decision, of course. But I was not expecting him to submit Sean O'Malley. So up 4.67 units. If Wong Kong could have finished a one-legged Silva, could have been like almost 8 units. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how last night went. Probably should have went heavier on Kevin Holland in hindsight. Like, that was my favorite spot. I kind of wanted to put a lot more on him, but it's Kevin Holland at the end of the day. So I kind of felt like 2.5 units was responsible. But yeah, pretty happy with how last night shook out for both of us there.
Yeah, you take the winning weeks when they come, but I mean, I really needed it. I know I was on a skid, so it was really nice to break out big, and hopefully we can stack a few more winning weeks on this one, Brady.
Yep, and I think it's a good card to do so. No, I wasn't muted. I was just waiting for Uncle Weezy to finish his thought. I didn't want to be rude and cut him off there. 234 people watching and only 30 likes. That's if that's true. I mean, we might as well just end the show right now, right? I mean, that's 30.
That's terrible. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
I hope that's not true. I'm gonna refresh and double check. If it's at 30, we might as well just leave, because what's the point? Oh, we're at 58.
All right, there we go. That's pretty good.
Okay, that's pretty good there. You're shocked the women's MMA bet didn't hit? Yeah, kind of. I mean, I thought that the finish was right there. We got Justin Cash with another dono. Waldo had garlic to beat Spivak. Yeah, I saw he brought in a crucifix. Had a crucifix necklace.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, you got to have that, man. You know, he probably never wore that in any of the other fights.
I know. All right. So what we'll do now. Oh, we got Low T City Ortega with the $13.99. Appreciate you, Low T City Ortega. Says big congrats on the big weekend, boys. Let's smash this next card. I cannot believe Chris the Walking Everlasting Bag. Moutinho is back, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it as well. They need to find out who sanctioned this fight, and they need to arrest that man right now. Right now. That is bad. That is bad.
Yeah, they gave, but you know, it's Malcolm Wellmaker. He had a great debut, and here we are. It's UFC Atlanta. That's where he's from. He's the hometown kid. He's a hot prospect. Seriously positive career trajectory. So they said, "Fuck it, let's bring in somebody that Malcolm can style on in front of the hometown crowd." They know what they're doing.
Oh wow, we're 84 likes. I should yell at the chat more often. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we didn't mean to shame you guys.
Shame. All right. Before we get into it, we have to shout out the sponsor of Stat Diggers, and that is our guy Avery. Thank you, Avery, for sponsoring the show, guys. Go give him a follow. MMA_very on X, keeping the show alive. Shout out to you, Avery. Hopefully, you had a good night last night as well. Let's find out how we did with the parlay, the milking, and the piping. So we did it. 3 for 3, the trifecta. Finally, the Stat Diggers parlay of the week. It comes through, and it comes through with flying colors. The first leg, none other than Kevin Holland. Holland goes out there and submits Vicente Luque. First leg, check. The second leg, Kayla Harrison, Juliana Pena, under 4.5 rounds, check. The Stat Diggers parlay of the week was on a skid. We snapped the skid, and it came through with flying colors. The piping of the week. There were a couple pipings last night. We saw Ju Sung Yu pipe Jekka Sergi, but we also saw Azamat Mirzakhanov pipe up Brenton Hibero, landed a big shot to the forehead, made him do the chicken dance, and followed up with some big shots, and the ref was forced to step in. Congratulations, Azamat Mirzakhanov. You may be 60 years old. You may fight once a year, if that. But you went out there, you had a great performance, and you knocked out Brenton Hibero. You piped him on site. So shout out to Azamat Mirzakhanov. And we did it. 14 weeks in a row. 14-week winning streak. Undefeated. Has never lost. The milking of the week. Kayla Harrison to bring out the milking table and milk Juliana Pena. So much milk. 2%. What a mess. And what a mess it was. That nasty Kimura at the end of the second round. Juliana Pena was forced to tap, and Harrison took her down. She grabbed her by the teats, and she milked her for everything she had until she was forced to tap out. So shout out to Kayla Harrison for milking Juliana Pena.
Yeah, Kayla's the best. You know, they were just holding on to the belt for Kayla before she actually got the chance to go out there and win it. And now we're going to hopefully see Amanda Nunes next. And that could be one of the highest level, maybe the highest level women's fight of all time.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that one. We got our guy Lou Betch in the building. Brady Weezy on a all Cody parlay, plays plus 3,086 this week. So that's Cody Brundage, Cody Durden, and Cody Garbrandt.
Yes.
3 Codys on this card. That's crazy.
31-1.
2%. So the milking comes through, the piping comes through, and the Stat Diggers parlay comes through. And let's see who needs help, Weezy. So this is who I put for who needs help. And yeah, we probably should have put Chaos Williams in there. We have 214 votes. Going to end the poll here. Option number 1 was Jekka Sergi. Option number 2 was Patchy Mix. Option number 3, Sean O'Malley. Option number 4 is Sergey Spivak. Out of those 4 names, who do you think that the viewers voted needs to get help?
Dude, it would have been like, I feel like it's the week that we both bet on Michelle Pereira. like after Patchy Mix's performance, I feel like that would be, I don't know how you pick anybody else.
Patchy Mix wins 69%.
Wow. So 31%, the remaining 31% is spread amongst 3 votes, or 3 other people. So yeah, I mean, like that was just, and all the shit that he was talking, Brady, it wasn't like he quietly went in there and just like, took a rip in the octagon in front of everybody in Newark, New Jersey. But like he told everybody that he was going to style on this guy. He called Mario Batista a journeyman.
He did. He said he was looking right through him.
Looking right through. I mean, imagine saying that. I know some fighters do look through their current opponent, and sometimes, that's fine, but like he said it. So I don't know what that was, man. Get some help, Patchy Mix. That was a really bad performance, but I'll take, I had a unit on Batista. I picked him to win the fight. I cashed 2.75 units, but even I was yelling at the TV, "What are you doing, man?"
Oh, God.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, so Patchy Mix, let's get some help. Let's get some help. Just absolute terrible performance, and you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. But Weezy, we got fights to get into.
Oh no, yeah, and there's going to be one fight. Oh boy, Colton G's goons are in the chat, Brady.
Oh God,
this is not good. Oh dear God, and they're armed.
Goons of Colton G. Which one of yous guys is Brady? We got a piping to give, and it's on site. Oh God. Hopefully Colton G stays far, far away from me. Yeah, that guy, he's terrifying. But his goons found me. Great.
Oh no.
Great. All right. So let's get into this card. We're going to start with the first fight of the night. We have Jamie Lynn Horth going against Vanessa Demopoulos. We got Jamie Lynn Horth, 35 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Demopoulos, 36 years old, 5'2" with a 59-inch reach. Horth 1 year younger, 5-inch height advantage for Horth, and she's going to have an 8-inch reach advantage. Horth is 3-2 in her last 5 fights, made her debut against Haley Cohen, won that fight by decision, lost a decision to Veronica Hardy, won a decision against Ivana Petrovic, and then lost a decision to Miranda Maverick. As far as Demopoulos, she is 2-3 in her last 5 fights. Decision loss against Karolina Kovacevic, decision win against Kanaka Murata, decision win against Emily Ducote, submission loss against Jacqueline Amarim, and then a decision loss to Talita Alencar. So, yeah, for me, this is a fight where I think from a betting perspective, I'm not even thinking about betting this ever, but from a pick perspective, it's a very easy pick for me. So Demopoulos has taken this fight on short notice. It was supposed to be Jamie Lynn Horth going against Teresa Bleda, and Bleda got like a really bad infection, had to pull out. So Demopoulos is coming in here on short notice. Not only is she coming in here on short notice, she's coming up a weight class, and it's not like Vanessa's like big for even strawweight, right? So she's coming up to flyweight against a big, physically strong flyweight in Jamie Lynn Horth. Although I'm not the highest on Jamie Lynn Horth, like she had a very close fight with Hardy. Like that fight could have went either way. And she was a massive dog against Maverick, and she actually did some pretty good things in that fight. She made it like somewhat competitive, clearly lost, but definitely had her moments. So yeah, beat Petrovic, which isn't a terrible win, beat Cohen, which isn't a terrible win. So yeah, I think she beats Demopoulos. I think she probably makes it look pretty easy, but she is a minus 450 favorite. The line's indicating that. And the only thing I would tell people to kind of tread lightly on is the judges love Vanessa Demopoulos. She's won at least 3 fights that she's clearly lost. So that would be the only thing I'd be kind of worried about. But I will not be betting this fight. There's a 0% chance I'd be betting this fight. The pick is Horth by decision, but we talked about it before the show, Weezy. Horth by decision is going to be minus 200 best price, but probably minus 250. So yeah, big giant pass. But Horth, I'd be kind of shocked if she didn't get it done, to be honest. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, Remdog in the chat is saying Demopoulos needs money. What are the matchmakers even doing? And it is kind of confusing because they probably had a hard time finding somebody to take a short notice fight against Jamie Lynn at 125, but this isn't the right fight for Vanessa. Up a weight class on short notice against somebody that's 5 inches taller. Jamie Lynn Horth has an 8-inch reach advantage, and she's actually the younger fighter here. Vanessa's a year and a half older. than Jamie Lynn Horth. And, you know, I mean, Vanessa's takedown defense is an abomination, you know, like our guy Tim Troiano would say, it's tragic. It's truly tragic because Talita Alencar can't wrestle at all. And she was like 3 for 3 on takedowns with like 14 and a half minutes of control time. It was one of the most pathetic performances that I've seen. You know, I mean, that was, if there's one fight where you are going to show off that you can defend takedowns, it would have been that fight against Talita Alencar, who by all reports at the time was not the best version of herself. And she went out there and just cleanly won 3 rounds. Vanessa's got no takedown defense and no get-up game. So, you know, it's just going to be really easy to take her down and just kind of lay on top of her. Jamie Lynn Horth is not the most dependable, you know, like high-volume offensive wrestler, though. And she might want to keep this at range because of the height advantage, because of the reach advantage. But, yeah, this is going to be tough. How would you say Vanessa is going to win this fight other than, you know, like you say, a potential robbery? Maybe she just stays a little bit busier because she, you know, she attempts 14.2 distance strikes per minute. Jamie Lynn only averages 8.7. So maybe Vanessa just does more, and maybe Jamie Lynn doesn't go out there and get takedowns, and it's close enough on the feet because Vanessa works harder and maybe lands the bigger shots because she really does swing. She's not out there trying to, like, you know, touch you with a jab. You know, Vanessa's swinging for the fences with every strike that she throws. So maybe that's how she does it. But yeah, I think that this fight goes to decision at a really high clip, and it's probably going to be Jamie Lynn Horth just because of Vanessa's inability to win minutes because of the lack of takedown defense and get up game that she has.
Yeah, it's so, I mean, that performance against Alencar, like, she should be ashamed of herself. Like, she should be absolutely ashamed of herself. I hate when, like, she even tried to get up. She was content to just kind of play off her back for 15 minutes. Like, you can't win I mean, she did win a fight against Murata. She actually did win a fight playing off her back for 15 minutes against Murata. but more often than not, you can't win a fight off your back in the UFC.
That decision was just disgusting. And I remember going back and watching that fight, and I remember saying to myself, okay, let's see how they came to this conclusion. And you know what it was? Like, the reason that they gave Vanessa that fight is that Kaneko was on top, but she really wasn't landing any ground and pound. And Vanessa was just throwing shit up from her back, landing some, I mean, she was doing something. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you shouldn't be able to win a fight like that, though. You know, it's almost like the judges were rooting for Vanessa, you know, and then they were like, well, you know, I mean, I know that she gave up 4.5 minutes of control time, but hey, how about those hammer fists that she was landing off her back that did no damage, you know? So like, yeah, that was wild to see that, because that I mean, I felt really bad for Kaneko Murata, and I felt really bad for the people who bet on her that day, because it was like, really, you're giving Vanessa that fight? So yeah, but laying minus 450 on Jamie Lynn Horth, Brady, is that something you want to be doing? 4.5 units to win one?
No. But
one unit to win 0.23?
Oh, God. No.
Against somebody that you know is like 4-3 to the decision and should probably be 1-6 to the decision at the UFC level. So, yeah man, it's probably going to be a nice fat pass from a gambling perspective here, but Jamie Lynn Horth by decision is just like, it's in the crystal ball.
It is. I agree with Loti. So just take it away.
Yeah, I know.
And I feel bad for guys like Dan from Half the Battle going to the card, having to sit 15 minutes of this, 15 minutes of cage pushing, and Jamie Lynn Horth just laying on top of Vanessa.
Well, you know, I mean, at least Vanessa's bringing, you know, that trademark personality with her, and she's fun to watch. She always brings it. She's always very aggressive in the cage. So maybe it'll be a fun back and forth fight if Jamie kind of like lets it be a fun fight, you know, because like Jamie could just take her down and lay on top of her for 15 minutes if she wants. But if she wants to put on a show for the people that show up early, Vanessa will oblige her, and it'll be a fun fight for the fans. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I just don't think I'm going to have any money on it, Brady.
Yeah. Vanessa's only path is a robbery. Yeah, I kind of thinking the same thing. That's true. We're not in Vegas. Those Vegas judges love Vanessa.
But it's all the same judges, man.
That's true.
You know.
Jamie Lynn. Oh, get some help. I agree. I met Vanessa Demopoulos in Vegas for WrestleMania. Yeah, Vanessa seems like a cool chick. Very cool chick.
Yeah.
Just not a chick I really want to bet on this week.
Yeah, really cool chick, unless you like chicks that have great takedown defense. In case you do not like her at all. Yeah,
that's true. You can lead a horse, or you can lead a Horth to water, but you can't make it wrestle. That's true.
Yeah.
Love it. Freebie, Vanessa Faye. Yeah, it's crazy that we're calling Jamie Lynn Horth a freebie, but I kind of agree. Oh, by the way, the over 2.5 is minus 400, which makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're saying that Jamie Lynn wins this fight 85% of the time, but at the same time she has to finish Vanessa Demopoulos, who's extremely durable and who has a ton of heart, that's going to be a tough order. So that's why Jamie by decision is probably going to open at minus 200 or minus 250, or maybe Bet Online will be dicks so that we're wrong and they'll open at minus 225.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, let's move. Hopefully they cancel this fight. Hopefully they cancel it. This next fight, another fight. I'm not too excited. I'm not too excited about this fight, to be honest. But we got Phil Rowe going against Loosa. We got Phil Rowe, 34 years old, 6'3" with an 80-inch reach. Loosa, 32 years old, 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. Loosa, 2 years younger. Phil Rowe with a 5-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Phil Rowe 3-2 in his last 5 fights. A knockout win against Orion Kosey. A knockout win against Jason Witt. A knockout win against Nico Price. A decision loss to Neil Magny, and then a decision loss to Jake Matthews. As far as Loosa, he's 2-1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Decision loss against Manir Lazez. Decision win against AJ Fletcher. Decision win against Reese McKee. No contest against Brian Battle. And then a decision loss to Gabriel Bonfim. So I was kind of late in terms of looking into this one, but apparently Loosa opened up as a dog. He opened up at plus 115, and by the time I looked into it, I do like Loosa here, just because you look at Phil Rowe and you look at his wins, and it's like in all of his wins, he's literally losing up until his opponents gas out. Like Orion Kosey won the first round against Phil Rowe, was taking him down. Jason Witt, of all people, won the first round against Phil Rowe, was taking him down. Nico Price was beating this guy, and all of his wins, all 3 of them in the UFC, they're come from behind wins where his opponents are gassing out. All 3 of them, Price, Witt, and Kosey, and quite frankly, those aren't the best wins. Same thing with Leon Shahbazyan back in the Contender Series. Shahbazyan was having a lot of success early, almost finished Phil Rowe, but Phil Rowe kind of pulled a Homer Simpson and came back and finished him in the 3rd round. Yeah. So, yeah, this guy Loosa, he's not going to really slow down. He has pretty solid cardio. He has really good volume. He's next level tough, unlike a Jason Witt or a Ryan Kosey. So I kind of lean Loosa. He can also mix in the takedowns as well. Loosa does average 2.5 takedowns per 15 minutes. Took down Gabriel Bonfim 4 times. Took down Reese McKee 6 times. And Phil Rowe just can't stuff a takedown. So kind of feel like it's Loosa, but would have liked to get that plus money. But he's minus 140 now. So I don't know. I'm not too excited for this fight. I'm not big on either guy, not high on either guy at all, but my pick is going to be Loosa, just because kind of think Rowe's like a Homer Simpson type fighter. And I don't know if he's going to Homer Simpson Loosa here. Reese McKee tried to Homer Simpson Loosa, but kind of ran out of time. So yeah, Loosa for me. Not sure if I love anything from a betting perspective. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
Yeah, same thing as you, man. First of all, both of these guys are very durable. I don't think anybody's going to be finishing Loosa. I mean, if Jack Della Maddalena couldn't do it, if Gabriel Bonfim couldn't finish you, he's fought some guys that are flat out 100% finish rate type of guys, and he's sticking around for 15 minutes with them. And even Reese McKee was very close to finish him at the end of the 3rd round there, and Reese has got a ton of cardio and a ton of output. So another guy who's, I think, got a 100% finish rate as a professional, or at least did up until the last fight, I think. But either way, I mean, both of these guys have got, pretty good losses, because Magny and Matthews are good UFC welterweight losses for mid-range fighters. Same thing with Loosa, who's losing to Munir Lazez on very short notice. And then Gabriel Bonfim. And that fight was at Elevation, and it was a close fight. It wasn't like Gabriel's a guy that's got he was a 100% finish rate guy as well up until the Chaos Williams. Or no, he finished Chaos Williams. Up until the Loosa fight, he had a 100% finish rate. So I think overs in this fight might be a pretty good play, even though both guys are pretty good finishers in their own right. As a matter of fact, Phil Rowe has a 100% finish rate. So it's a tricky spot to bet on Phil Rowe because he's got a 100% finish rate and he's 0-4 to the decision, right? So, Phil's never been a guy that's been out there doing a good job of winning minutes and banking rounds. And Loosa is somebody that's going to be mixing in that wrestling. And Phil Rowe has shown 57% takedown defense and has been controlled for 32% of his UFC octagon time. So I think there's going to be paths for Loosa to win minutes here, to potentially do a little bit more at distance striking range, push a little bit higher of a pace against Phil. And if he can get takedowns and avoid the big shots from Rowe, because this dude has got an 80-inch reach, and for a skinny dude, he's got a ton of power. So he can absolutely shut your lights off. And he's a pretty high-level submission grappler, a pretty dangerous guy. He's trained at Fusion Excel for years alongside of guys like Jacare and Rodolfo Vieira. And we know that Phil Rowe's been in a bunch of grappling competitions as well. So I think this is a fun fight. I think that these guys are going to scrap. It's probably going to be back and forth. Phil's going to probably land some big shots. Anga's going to probably mix in the wrestling and win some minutes. And I think both of these guys are going to absorb some big shots on the feet that'll probably get the crowd going a little bit here. I think it's going to be a really fun fight, Brady. So in terms of who wins, I think Loosa by decision would be my pre-tape pick. But I was just watching tape on Loosa here before the fight, or before we got started on the show. And yeah, I was impressed with how he handled that Gabriel Bonfim fight at Elevation.
Yeah, and I was impressed with that Munir Lazez fight that he took on short notice. Like, made a pretty good account for himself in that loss as well. Yeah, the over got wrecked, dude. The over opened up minus 185. It's now minus 240.
Yeah. Two very durable guys, man. So I do think it does go over. And maybe, you'll have to look at decision props for this one in order to find some value because, yeah, for guys that hit as hard as Loosa and Rowe do, to pay minus 240 for an over is a little bit scary.
Yep. And if there is a finish, I do think it's probably Loosa getting the finish because Rowe's been hurt a lot. Got hurt against Shahbazyan. Got hurt against Kosi. Kosi stunned him and wobbled him. Got knocked out in the past and then got hurt badly. I'm surprised Gabe Green didn't finish him with those leg kicks. So yeah. But I think it probably Loosa by decision. That's a good point with the Phil Rowe 0-4 in decisions, and I can see why. This guy has just come from behind, Homer Simpson type thing he's doing. So yeah, Loosa for me. What do you guys liking in the chat here? 5 kids. He has 5 kids. Does he really?
Jeez, man.
Oh my gosh,
that's a lot of kids.
Loosa than my wife. Okay.
Heyo.
Rowe also looked terrible last fight after round 1, which is why you need to take rounds off Loosa.
Yeah,
both guys. That Matthews fight was a really bad, and that Magny fight was probably one of the worst fights I've ever watched. They just clinched for 15 minutes. It was horrible.
Yeah, and you couldn't tell who was who.
I know.
Literally, you're like, who the fuck was that? They look exactly alike. They're both the same height. They got the same haircut. That was a bizarre fight. It
really was. I'd bet Ange, but I'm trying to not be so loose with my money. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with passing. We got Dylan Kramer checking in from X. Brian Battle hit Loosa so hard he quit. Yeah, he did kind of quit in that fight. Any thoughts? And Ange thought he was going to win Loosa? I don't get that, Marcel.
Ange thought you was gonna win Loosa.
Oh, Loosa. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, there we go. We got Dustin. What's up, Dustin? Taking this long drive home from my work week. Brady, appreciate everything you and Uncle Weezy Do got to get back on track, but Usman has no chance. Father time versus someone who's hungry. I'll always go for the guy. And yeah, yep, the lines, they're kind of onto it. I think Buck is a pretty big favorite. Can't wait to talk about that main event. We got VT in the chat. Hello, good to see you in here. Barry McCockiner. If Jack didn't knock out Loosa, it's difficult to see Phil doing it. And yeah, Jack couldn't. Bonfim could. Bonfim hits very hard too. Fletcher has some power. Lazez, really good striker. So yeah, I'd be kind of surprised if Rowe knocked him out there. Uncle Weezy is killing it in the UFC predictions tracker. Yeah, I think he went 12-1 last night.
Yeah, 12-1 on the picks, and the only one that I didn't get right was Chaos Williams because I was just worried about the 2 weight cuts for Gustafsson. But I was telling people all week, I'm like, man, Gustafsson by decision at plus 600 is just crazy because Gustafsson always clinches. But I wound up just kind of chickening out and going with the fight goes instead of the Gustafsson by decision, and I cashed the fight goes, so I'm fine with it. But yeah, great week last week. Let's go 13 or whatever, however many 13. Fights there are. Let's go 12-1 again, man.
There's 13. Yeah, I mean, I would have picked Gustafsson too had I known that Chaos Williams did a full camp at Planet Fitness. Found out after the fact.
And shout out to Chaos Williams. He showed a ton of heart and durability in that fight, dude. I think there's a lot of people that would have quit midway through round 2 of that fight, the way that Gustafsson was just mauling him in the clinch. But Chaos kept getting up when he got taken down. He kept fighting back when he got hit. So, I mean, he showed a ton of heart and durability out there.
Yep. I mean, I kind of feel robbed. I was really big on the Andreas Gustafsson KO against Trevin Giles. Could you imagine? Yeah. Could you imagine what Gustafsson would have done to Officer Trevin Giles?
Oh, my God.
There would have been an officer down.
Always finds an exit. He always finds an exit. And I mean, Gustafsson would have had him out of there probably under 1.5 rounds.
Yeah. He finished him before the fight even started. It was
I know.
Oh, good night, VT. Have a good night. Chat's full of puns tonight. Usually they just got the hornies. Red Knox saying give it time. Yeah, we'll see, man. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Ricky Simón going against Charles Jourdain. We got Ricky Simón, 32 years old, 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. Charles Jourdain, 29 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. We got Jourdain 3 years younger. Jourdain with a 3-inch height advantage. Got the same reach there between the two. Ricky Simón is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Jack Shore. Knockout loss to Song Yadong. Decision loss against Mario Bautista. Decision loss against Vinicius Oliveira. And then a knockout win against Javid Basharat. As far as Jourdain, he has 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Kron Gracie. Submission win against Ricardo Ramos. Decision loss against Sean Woodson. Knockout loss to Gene Silva. And then a submission win against Victor Henry. I think this is one of the most interesting fights on the card from a pick and betting perspectives. We have a close-ish line here, and you have on one hand Charles Jourdain, who does get taken down by a gust of wind, some of the worst takedown defense you'll ever see. But with that said, though, he has a nasty guillotine that he's hit a couple times in the UFC that he goes to, and he goes to often. So if Ricky Simón is shooting takedowns, which he will be, he's got to watch his neck. And also, Charles Jourdain, although can't stuff a takedown, he does a really good job at getting back up. When guys take him down, he's popping right back up instantly. So not too sure if the takedown defense is going to be a major issue here. And it's kind of weird with Ricky Simón. I was kind of counting him out. A lot of people were against Javid Basharat. You know what the line was in that fight? I imagine he was a big dog there against Javid, right?
Yeah, dude, he was, I've got it in keep talking. I've got it in my stats though.
All right. But yeah, he was a big dog. And I think the reason for that is, for one, there's a lot of hype on Javid, but for two, he was on a 3-fight skid. And don't get me wrong, it's against very good opponents like Song Yadong, Batista, and Oliveira. They're all very good fighters, but I just didn't really like how he looked in those fights. He kind of looked a little bit washed. He looked a little bit off, but went out there and pulled off a big upset against Javid Basharat. And now he's the favorite against Jourdain. This fight is going to be at bantamweight. I believe this is Jourdain's second fight at bantamweight. He cut down against Victor Henry. He looked pretty good on the scale, and he got the submission win. And I think he was the first person to ever finish Victor Henry, so that was pretty impressive. So, yeah, I think on the feet, you absolutely have to favor Charles Jourdain, the durability of Charles Jourdain, the volume, the power of Jourdain. But Ricky Simón, he does have a path here, which would be taking down Jourdain and taking him down a lot over the course of 15 minutes. So a very interesting fight here, Weezy. What are your thoughts on this one here?
Yeah, and Ricky was a plus 205 underdog last time out, So I mean that's a big number. But you know what's interesting is like the number that I've got highlighted on the screen right now is the percentage of control time positions that Charles Jourdain wins in his fights, and that's 42.2%. But Charles only gets 0.3 takedowns per 15 minutes, and he allows 2.4. So he's only getting 10% of the total takedowns in his fights, but he's winning 42% of the control time positions. So that indicates a really high level of efficiency to me. So Ricky Simon, who's somebody who's going to grapple a lot, obviously, 11.1 takedown attempts per 15 minutes. He gets 4.4 takedowns per 15 minutes and now controls his opponents 29% to 3%, winning about 90% of the control time positions in his fights. So while this is at range, Charles is going to be doing more. He lands at a little bit higher of a percentage, and he's going to be 3 inches taller than Ricky. So he's going to probably have an ability to kind of be able to maybe keep Ricky on the end of his jab and use some front kicks in order to manage distance. And like you said, man, if you try to take down Charles, he's going to be trying to wrap up your neck constantly. And when he's unable to wrap up the neck, he winds up just getting back to his feet usually. So he's going to be a very difficult time to win a bunch of minutes in the grappling against. He's only allowing 17% control time to his opponents, despite the fact that he's showing below 50% takedown defense. So this is a very difficult guy to take down and hold down and win minutes against on the ground against. I mean, when I look at the control time striking numbers, Charles has outlanded his opponents 175 to 100 in significant clinch strikes and 71 to 32 in significant ground strikes. Brady, that's at 145 pounds.
Yeah.
Now he's moving down. And I bet last time on Victor Hendry against Charles Jourdain, because I thought to myself, I said, I don't know how Charles is going to handle this weight cut. But what Charles was saying was he was only making the walk at featherweight at like 152 pounds. He said when he fought Gene Silva that Gene Silva was over 170 on fight day. So that was when he decided, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. He realized, he's like, I didn't want to make the weight cut, but it was always available to me. And so he said it was an easy weight cut for him down to 135. And now he's going to have that height advantage over most people. He's going to have a little bit of a reach advantage over a lot of fighters. And he's already somebody who's winning minutes in the clinch and winning minutes in the grappling positions. And now he's actually going to have that size advantage. And he's always had that good cardio and the ability to push a heavy pace in round number 3. So I think Charles is going to be a very difficult out in a division that's just full of killers. And so now he gets Victor Hendry in his debut at bantamweight, and now he's getting a guy that has had a number next to his name in the toughest division in the UFC, in my opinion. So this is a very high level fight, Brady. I mean, who are you picking?
I think I'm kind of leaning the dog here. I mean, I think I got to, because I feel like Jourdain can win by like any path. Like we've seen Ricky Simón knocked out by Uriah Faber. Like the chin is always going to be in question for me. We could see a guillotine. We could see a Charles Jourdain guillotine. And we could also see a Charles Jourdain, damage-based decision as well. So, yeah, kind of lean with the dog here. I do think Simón does have a path, but is he going to be able to hold down Jourdain enough? I don't know. When I was watching Jourdain fights, like he gets taken down, he's popping right back up, no problem. And yeah, his last 2 losses, Gene Silva, massive dude who hits like a truck, and then Sean Woodson, who is 6'1"?
Yeah.
6'2". So yeah, I think bantamweight's great for Jourdain. I will say he is a little bit of a weird guy, Jourdain. I remember watching an interview with him a couple of fights ago, and he was like calling his girlfriend his sister or something. And then, I went to his Instagram and he was doing a promo and he says that something like you got to take risks. And he said he went to Thailand and there was ladyboys and he was taking risks with the ladyboys.
Hey-o.
Yeah. So he's a little weird. He likes ladyboys and he calls his like girlfriend his sister. But outside of that, he's a pretty solid fighter. Oh, stepsister. So apparently he's with his stepsister.
What?
That's what he said. I couldn't believe it. He's a sick man.
Boys? I mean, I guess when you're in Thailand, you do what people in Thailand do, but I've never been to Thailand. That is so far away, dude. It's a long ass flight to Thailand, but I don't know, man. I'm as confused about that shit about Jourdain as I am in who to pick in this fight. This is a great fight.
Yeah, look, I mean, here it is right there. I don't want to take risks. He took risks in Thailand with the lady boys.
Take a loan or go home.
Take a risk. I wanted to join the UFC. I did. You guys think I didn't take a risk when I was in Thailand and there was lady boys everywhere? I took risks. Dude's a sick man. Dude's a sick individual. But Aussie likes it. It came to, yeah. Guess so. But yeah, so let's see. We have Simone minus 160. And we got Jourdain plus 140. It looks like some money is coming in on Jourdain. Jourdain was plus 156 this morning. He's now plus 140. Kind of interested to see where this line goes. The over-under sit at 2.5. The over 2.5 is minus 230. The under 2.5 is plus 174 there.
Yeah, I think I would rather play an under here, Brady. Both of these guys have been finished. Both of these guys have some finishing ability, obviously. I mean, Charles Jourdain has finished 5 of his 7 UFC wins. Ricky has finished 5 of his 9 UFC wins. Ricky's got serious power. Dude's landed 5 knockdowns in 14 UFC fights. Charles Jourdain has landed 6 knockdowns in 15 UFC fights. And both Charles and Ricky have been knocked down 4 times apiece. So both of these guys have power. Both of these guys have been knocked down and put into bad spots. Both of these guys have submission upside, as Ricky's got a nasty arm triangle when he gets on top, and Charles has got that nasty guillotine that he's always looking to get. Dude, when he got the guillotine on Victor Hendry, it was like the 5th one that he attempted or looked for. He was constantly looking for Victor's neck. So, yeah, I could see knockouts. I could see submissions here. And we're getting a pretty good plus money number at plus 174 for the under 2.5. Might be a decent play this week. I'm not running to the window to bet it, but I think that there's a few different ways that this one can end inside the distance.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I'd rather bet the under than the over as well. Will saying I like Charles. We got Truth Hurts, the second with the 499. Appreciate you, Truth Hurts, saying Uncle Weezy F baby. My man came through with the picks like Weesterdamus. I came up big last night. Let's keep the train going, gents. Let's keep it going. Shout out to Truth Hurts, the second. Stepsister. My bad. Stepsister. That makes it a lot better, right?
Yeah, of course. Way better.
Yeah, way better. Still not cool, but
yeah, exactly. Still frowned upon, but much better,
Much better, yeah.
Yeah.
Calling your girlfriend your sister is minus EV. That's true.
It is.
That's true. We got Dravi in the building. What's up, boys? I wonder if Wheezy's still smoking on that vampire pack. You smoking on that vampire pack?
Dude, you want to talk about making 1.49 units on the Waldo Cortez Acosta money line and 5.25 units on the decision prop. So, yeah, man, that man out of Transylvania that sucks blood for a living made me a bunch of money by refusing to wrestle.
That was hilarious. Classic Spivak, man.
Let's go.
Classic Spivak. And the next fight, he's going to show up and get like 10 takedowns and just dominate whoever he fights. It's hilarious, this guy. Yeah, he's a jokester. Jourdain is a jokester. He's a funny guy. Colton G's goons. I'm going to give them an offer they can't refuse. Pull up on Brady. You guys will be smoked.
Yeah. If the Godfather makes you an offer you don't refuse, you don't refuse it.
Stepsister play ball. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
There you go. All right. His girlfriend is his stepsister. I don't know if he's joking or not. It's hard to tell. I'll have to ask him. All right, let's move on to the next fight, Weezy. We have potential fight of the night here on the prelims. We got there we go. Cody Durden going against Jose Ochoa. We got Durden, 34 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Ochoa, 24 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Ochoa, 10 years younger, Got the same height, same reach between the two. Durden is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Jake Hadley. Submission loss to Tagir Ulumbekov. Knockout loss to Bruno Silva. Submission win against Matt Schnell. And a decision loss to Josh Van. As far as Ochoa, he is 3-1-1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against prospect Lonnie Kavanaugh. Lost that fight by decision. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I think Jose Ochoa is going to be a very fun and exciting fighter. He's a shoot-to-box Diego Lima guy, which you know what that means. He's going to come in there. He's going to be fun. He's going to be exciting. And he's pretty good and dangerous everywhere. He has really good striking, really good kicks, sneaky grappling game as well. And he did lose his debut, but that was against a pretty solid fighter in Kavanaugh. And now he's taking on Cody Durden, which is, much different test here. Like Cody Durden, you think he's going to go out there and try to wrestle Ochoa here. We have Ochoa as a pretty decent-sized favorite, so the market definitely giving him some respect here against a guy in Durden who's been there, done that. Durden did take a ton of damage against Joshua Van. He did show a ton of toughness, but he took an absolute beating in that fight. Rounds 2, rounds 3. Not sure how he survived, but showed a lot of toughness. Did beat Matt Schnell. That was a good win. Submitted Matt Schnell. Took a lot of damage in the Silva fights. Yeah, Durden has taken some damage lately. I'm looking forward to this fight quite a bit, Weezy. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very fun fight. Cody always puts on a show, and this kid Ochoa is fun to watch. Only 24 years old, and he's just getting started in his career. Only 9 professional fights, and really only 8 of them got to a decision or had an outcome because there was an illegal knee. Well, not an illegal. It was a shot to the sack against João Ruiz, and Ochoa was winning that fight, but the guy was just like, yeah, you hit me in the nuts, it's over now, I'm quitting. So I'm interested to see how Ochoa progresses in his career, but I was really kind of surprised to see him be a favorite because I'm not sure what it's based on, anything other than hype. If you put Jose Ochoa's wins in the cage with Cody Durden, Cody mops the floor with all of those dudes. I mean, it's not even close. So this is a big step up in competition for Ochoa, and he's coming off a loss. He's coming off a loss against Lonnie Kavanaugh, and he lost 2 out of those 3 rounds, and one of the judges' scorecards, he lost all 3 rounds. But I think the most damning stat from that fight is that Jose was 13 of 78 on his head strike attempts. So his head strike attempts were below 20% in that fight against Lonnie Kavanaugh. And now I'm going to make this 24-year-old kid with not one decisive win on it. Well, I mean, like his wins are decisive, but against nobodies. So there's nobody that he's ever beaten that's ever been close to the level of Cody Durden. So I'm interested in Cody Durden's money line at around plus 150 here because, Jose's coming to Atlanta, Georgia, to fight the 2-time high school state Georgia wrestling champion in Cody Durden. So I think Cody's going to have a minute winning advantage in the grappling exchanges here. He's been submitted quite a few times, but Jose Ochoa is 1-0 to the submission as a pro. It does. I don't know if he's going to be able to submit a guy like Cody Durden, and Cody's going to be the higher level wrestler here. I mean, there's a massive strength of schedule advantage on the Cody Durden side, strength of wins, the guys that he's losing to, Josh Van, Bruno Silva, Tugir Ulumbekov. He's got a draw against Chris Gutierrez at bantamweight. I think Jose Ochoa, while the kid is obviously a very good prospect at 24 years old, he's got a ton of hype on him. There's just a bunch of people that are saying that we're going to just keep seeing better performances from Jose. And that's being reflected in the betting line because he shouldn't be a favorite based on, strength of schedule, experience, even just like skill for skill in the octagon. I'm not sure that Jose Ochoa is a much better striker than Cody Durden. He's certainly not a better wrestler than Cody Durden. He's fought the much worse brand of competition. So, yeah, Jose Ochoa is going to have to really show out against a really tough opponent who's fighting in front of a friendly crowd in his hometown. So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me that the line is so wide on Ochoa. I think that this kid's got a lot to prove before he should be priced at minus 170 versus Cody Durden. What was Josh Van against Cody Durden?
I don't know.
Let me look here. Jourdain against Van. So Jourdain was
Not too big of a favorite.
+1. I mean, Jourdain was +130. So Josh Van was -150 against Cody Jourdain. And this guy Ochoa, who's beaten fucking nobody, is being priced at what is it? -1.
Yeah,
-187. -187 right now on Bet Online. So yeah, I think that the people that are backing Ochoa are backing hype, but they're going to expect him to come in there and really put on a career best performance against Cody Jourdain. I hope it keeps going. I hope the hype keeps getting people to bet this guy at this price, because I don't get it, Brady.
Well, he passes the eye test, but he just hasn't been tested.
He got tested in his last fight, and he lost all 3 rounds on one of the judges' scorecards and couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. I mean, I think he landed like 50 significant strikes over 15 minutes, right?
Well, that's your typical Diego Lima, shoot the box Diego Lima guy. Very low accuracy.
Yeah, well, that was low accuracy, all right. Yeah, 50%, or I'm not 50%. I mean, 50 significant strikes over 15 minutes. But Loney Kavanaugh only landed 51, so it's not like he ran away with the fight either. But yeah, we're going to see, because this kid Ochoa is still only 24 years old. So we're going to be seeing improvements between fights. And in some of the fights against the lower level competition on the regional scene, he looks really good, dude. Super aggressive, really good in the clinch, very aggressive, a lot of forward pressure, and he mixes up his weapons well. So, yeah, he's going to keep getting better, but this is a tough test against Cody Jourdain.
Yeah, Cody Jourdain actually opened up the favorite at -180, and he's currently a +162 dog. Ochoa opened up +155, and he's currently +187. So the line is flipped.
Big time. Big time.
The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 -145. The under 2.5 is +113. Yeah, I had to leave for a second. I heard a big noise in the house. I wonder if Colton G and his goons showed up. Like a weird noise. I don't know what it was. Kind of scared. I don't know.
Dude, if Colton G and his boys show up, you're gonna mop the floor with those candy asses. They probably work out at Planet Fitness.
Oh God. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. So hopefully the goons didn't find their way to my house. We'll see. Brady and Uncle Weezy, do either of you smoke the devil's lettuce?
Well, I know Brady is a family man with a very young child, so I'm imagining that he doesn't have a lot of time for that. Now, me, I'm an older man with no kids of my own, so yes, I do partake. Yes, I do.
Let's see. Some of those lady boys are very convincing, if we are being honest. Okay.
I'd have to take his word for it. And, Barry McCockiner is definitely somebody who's a connoisseur of that kind of stuff. So, but I've never been to Thailand, so I would not know.
Yeah. I prefer the ones for sure are dudes. Okay. Philip's liking some violence here.
Yeah, I don't mind it either.
Durden Dog is barking. Give me the more tested, UFC tested Cody Jourdain by decision. Ison saying play it safe, take the under. Muhammad saying I have Ochoa -125. I also hope it keeps going. There you go.
And I think it will. There's a lot of hype on this kid.
Ready to milk him on the stream. I had to pull out my milking table. You know what a milking table is right now, Weezy? Or you still don't know what it is?
No, we found out after somebody talked about it on Stat Diggers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brady about to wheel kick a burglar. Gustafson reminds me of a lesser version of Fluffy Hernandez. He can give you the type of mauling that can make their opponent never be the same after fighting them. Yeah, that was a mauling last night. That was a mauling.
Phenomenal performance. Our days of seeing Andreas Gustafsson at plus money are officially over, my friend.
Yeah, people are saying this guy sucks. I don't think he sucks. He knows what he's good at and he does it.
Yeah. He fights with the style that works best for him and worst for his opponents, and that's always somebody that's going to give themselves a chance to win.
Yeah. Moving on to the next fight. Oh God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Malcolm Wellmaker going against Chris Moutinho. He's back. He's back, and they're not doing him any favors. Chris Moutinho finally back in the UFC. We have Malcolm Wellmaker, 31 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. Moutinho, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. Wellmaker 1 year younger, 3-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Wellmaker 5-0 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Cameron Simon, won that fight by a first-round knockout, knocked out Adam Bromhold on the Contender Series in the first round as well. As far as Moutinho, he is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He went 0-2 in the UFC. He went out there and lost by third-round knockout to Sean O'Malley, and then he lost by first-round knockout to 60-year-old Guido Canetti. Got cut, but since then he's on a 5-fight winning streak, Wheezy. All 5 of those fights coming by finish. So he's back, and they're giving him Malcolm Wellmaker here. So I actually cashed Malcolm Wellmaker by knockout against Cameron Simon at plus 350. The knockout prop for this fight is going to be what, minus 350?
Oh, man. It's going to be like Azamat's yesterday, dude.
It was like Azamat's best price for the I think it was like minus 280 best price for the knockout prop. Minus like 280. Yeah,
I paid up minus 340 for the inside the distance.
Crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I think he goes out there and knocks out Chris Moutinho. Moutinho's like tough, but he has some of the worst striking defense I've ever seen. I mean, I can't think of a fighter with worse striking defense than Chris Moutinho. What is it? What is the striking defense officially?
It at distance, it's 29%.
Oh,
you know, which is less than half of the divisional average of 59.8%. So this guy blocks punches with his face, and then it's like he dyes his hair the color of Mountain Dew. So it's like your eyes can just like laser focus in on his head and just make sure you never ever miss it. It just makes it even easier to hit this kid.
Oh, he's so hit. I went back and watched the Guido Canetti fight. It's like he was literally blocking punches with his face.
Yeah.
It was actually quite funny to see. Wonder what kind of hairstyle he's coming in with. It looks like he hasn't been rocking the green hair on this little win streak.
Oh, that's good. But he always used to dye his hair even before he got to the UFC for those 2 fights where he just got his ass shaved.
Yeah,
but
bad.
yeah, I mean, like now maybe he's taking it a little more seriously. Yeah. You know, I mean, hair dye is expensive, especially in this economy. So maybe he's just keeping the hair the natural color.
Yeah, which maybe that helps him here. But yeah, minus 1,300 for Wellmaker. Opened up minus 1,300. The line hasn't really moved, and yeah, probably rightfully so. Wellmaker's going to be one of the biggest favorites in UFC history. And I mean, yes, I mean, they can't really give him a much easier fight, can they? I mean, Moutinho is extremely hittable. Wellmaker hits extremely hard. I mean, this has knockout written all over it. The knockout prop is going to be minus 300. The under 1.5 is already getting obliterated. It's moved a mile already. Under opened up at plus 130. It's now minus 140. I think it's Wellmaker in round 1.
Yeah, I mean, probably because Moutinho has got the worst striking defense that I've ever seen. You know, I mean, he's a pressure fighter, though. I mean, guys like that are going to get hit a lot, and they're going to have to trust their chin. But, you know, it's a style that you fight with. It's a style that says, you know, I'm going to trust my durability. I'm going to walk you down. I'm going to make you tired. And when you realize that I'm not going to go away, I'm going to break you late in the fight. And Moutinho, he can do that. I mean, that's how this dude wins fights. But when you get up to this level and the guys are a lot more accurate and a lot more powerful, that style only works, you know, if you are backing your opponent up, if you're landing big shots, you know. That's how Josh Van fights. He's a very pressure forward fighter. He will take a lot of damage, but he can trust his chin, and he also can trust his power. But I just don't know if Moutinho's power is ever going to translate at this level. And I remember when you told me that they made this fight and you said that Moutinho was on a 5-fight winning streak, I was like, oh shit, let's go see where, because I know he was fighting in some decent promotions, I thought, before the UFC, but I was wrong about that. He's in CES, which has got to be maybe one of the worst, you know, regional scene organizations in the United States. I mean,
wait, he did beat Johnny Cupcakes Campbell, though.
He did beat Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. Yes, he did. Elijah Harris, Jay Presley, Mateus Silva, and Antonio Castillo Jr. I'm just saying that CES has got like the lowest level of competition in the country for some reason. There's nobody ever good comes out of that organization. That's where Jay Ellis. You'll be finding Jay Ellis fighting in CES and Cage Titans. You know, a guy that like I could show up tomorrow to CES at 51 years old, Brady, and be like, yeah, I'm a heavyweight. And they're like, all right, great. We got to fight for you. You know, like they'd probably let me fight, you know, and it would be very not pretty for me, but you know, I might even have a chance against the bums in that organization. You know, I might even get a fucking pro MMA win. You never know, dude. But yeah, Moutinho, this is going to be a really difficult assignment for this kid against the hometown fighter, the kid with all the hype, coming off a really good win over Cameron Simon. I mean, Cameron Simon would dick saw everybody that Chris Moutinho has beaten in this recent run. So yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty easy Wellmaker spot, and they're setting him up with a winnable fight in front of the hometown crowd. They had to get him on this card. No way you can have an Atlanta card and not have Malcolm Wellmaker on it.
Yep. Malcolm Wellmaker, highlight knockout. Should we take a moment of silence for Chris Moutinho?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. A short moment of silence for the Mountain Dew colored hair young man, originally from Portugal, now in the United States. Let's go.
All right, yeah. So just a moment of silence for Chris Moutinho here, guys. All right, there we go. Colton got a flat tire. We are waiting for AAA. All right, AAA is it's good, man. Good. Glad that Colton has that. My friend Dixon My Ass wants to give Brady a shout out for his DK core yesterday. Shout out to Dixon My Ass. That's hilarious. Nobody clipped that. Editors, can we hit up the producer? I'm
getting on the horn with the producer right now. Yeah,
we got to clip that one out as well. Got to clip that. We got a couple things we need to clip out the show. We're only an hour and a half in. Why is this not the main event? I don't know.
Probably because it's a little one-sided.
Fight ends by sub. I mean, maybe maybe Moutinho will tap the strikes. I don't know. Wellmaker, he does have, I think, 2 sub wins though, and Moutinho has been subbed twice, so maybe he subs him. Maybe. KO prop, KO prop's gonna be like minus 300. Best case scenario. What did Moutinho do to these matchmakers?
Yeah, I mean, he got Sean O'Malley in one of his fights, but then he did get a chance against Guido Canetti. You know, they gave him a winnable fight, and he messed it up.
Yeah, he did. Under 1.5 rounds at minus 140 is a smash spot. Yeah, I think it does hit. The only thing that scares me is Moutinho. Like, he is tough. He's a tough dude, but at the same time, it's like he's going to get hit really hard in the face here.
Yeah, you got that right.
And it's not too often you see a juiced under at this weight class, 1.5 especially. It's not too often at all.
Yeah, fucking Wellmaker was an underdog in his last fight, and now he's minus 1,300. You know, so obviously this line is a little bit wide. You know, but I mean, Moutinho just doesn't have the kind of striking defense that's going to be able to deal with a precision striker like Wellmaker.
Yeah. Under is good. I think it hits. I'm not sure if I'll get there, though. Dude, I clipped the boats and hose for you. Appreciate that, Mike. Steven, stop telling people to parlay at minus 1,300. I mean, we could parlay up Wellmaker with, how about Omar C at minus 600?
When does that get us?
I don't know. We can also throw Jamie Lynn Horth at minus 450 in there. Now we're cooking. And then, Mansour Abdul Malik, minus 725. What does that parlay come out to? Maybe even money? Maybe?
Not even.
If not, we can put Kesa in there at minus 400.
Oh, my God.
All right. Let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be, speaking of Kesa, Michael Kesa going against Court McGee. We got Kesa, 37 years old, 6'1", 75-inch reach. Court McGee, 40 years old, 5'11", with a 75-inch reach. Kesa 3 years younger, 2-inch height advantage, and got the same reach there. Kesa is 3-2 or 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Submission loss to Luke, decision loss to Sean Brady, submission loss to Kevin Holland, submission win against Tony Ferguson, then a submission win against Max Griffin. As far as Court McGee, He is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Ramiz Brahimaj, knockout win against Jeremiah Wells, knockout loss against Jeremiah Wells, knockout loss against Matt Brown, decision loss against Alex Morono, and then a submission win against Tim Means. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too long ago where it's like people were picking Tony Ferguson to beat Chiesa, and now all of a sudden he's a massive favorite here against 40-year-old Court McGee. This is a sketchy fight. This is a very sketchy fight. I just can't stomach laying minus 400 on Chiesa in this matchup. You know, I do lean his way, but minus 400, I'm not sure about it. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight here?
Yeah, if you guys are thinking about laying massive juice on Michael Chiesa this week, I just want to remind you that nobody has out-grappled Court McGee. Never. He's got 18 UFC fights since the year 2013, and he's 6-0 to the submission as a professional. He's never been submitted. He wins about 84% of the control time positions in his fights, and he's a very, very dominant grappler. This is not a guy that ever goes out there and gets rinsed by anybody on the mat. So Chiesa is somebody who doesn't really do a lot of damage in the striking. He's not somebody that's ever going to separate himself on the feet. And I'm here to tell you that he's not going to out-wrestle and he's not going to out-grapple Court McGee. Whatever grappling exchanges happen in this fight, they're probably going to be pretty close. And Court McGee's the far more efficient grappler. So this line is way off to me. Way off to me. Because where is Chiesa minus 450 against Court McGee? Or what is the line on him?
I think it's minus 350.
Minus 350. Okay. Where? I mean, like, these guys have fought a fairly similar level of competition. Chiesa, obviously, a little bit higher. But where are we seeing Chiesa win fights other than in the grappling exchanges of fights? The answer is really not anywhere. And where do you see Court McGee over a 10-plus year UFC career ever getting out-wrestled or out-grappled by anybody? Ever. Never. You don't see it. So Court McGee throws twice as many strikes per minute at distance than Chiesa does. These guys are both pretty defensively sound at distance striking range. Court McGee's always had elite cardio. So where is Kesa going to look minus 350, Brady? You want to help me out?
Maybe like the haircut, maybe the hair.
Does he have good hair?
It's pretty solid, long hair, yeah.
Well, I mean, Court's got a haircut you could set your watch to.
That's true. It's not,
shorter,
but yeah.
Yeah, it's utilitarian. It's short. It might not stick out in a crowd, but like that's what you need for a fighter. Yeah, I mean, obviously Chiesa's 3 years younger. He's 2 inches taller. He's a southpaw in a southpaw versus orthodox matchup, and he has faced and beaten the better brand of competition on the aggregate. So there's a little bit of youth, there's a little bit of measurables, and there's a little bit of a strength to schedule advantage on the Chiesa side. But once these guys set foot in the octagon, it's going to be about, their MMA skill set. And I think that their MMA skill set at this point in both of their careers is very well matched.
Yeah, it's a weird line here. It's a weird line. Where did this open up? Chiesa opened up minus 500 actually. He's currently minus 350. Court McGee opened up plus 300, currently plus 285. Yeah, losing to Alex Morono is at this stage is a horrible look, but I'd more so be worried about like power punchers at this stage of Court McGee's career. Got smoked by Matt Brown, got smoked by Jeremiah Wells. Chiesa has 0 knockouts ever.
Yeah.
So not really worried about that. And not even Sean Brady was able to out-grapple Court McGee.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird. I don't understand. I know Court's like 40, but I mean, Chiesa's not much younger. Or he's 30. He's 30. That's 3-year difference. So yeah, I don't get it either. Chiesa minus 350 now. McGee plus 285. The over is minus 160. The under is plus 124. So money just came in on the under during the show there.
On the under in this fight?
Yeah, the under got hit a tad.
Good.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep, got hit at 11:42. 11:42 Eastern.
All right, so 13 minutes ago. Let's take it. All right.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, I mean, nobody's knocking either guy out here. Absolutely not. Could maybe be a sub, but doubt it. Yeah, over's probably solid, and then maybe like plus 3.5 on court.
Yep, that's my thoughts. I might get to the money line as well because I just, the point that I'm trying to make is that I don't see Kesa out grappling this dude. So if if he's not going to out grapple Court McGee, and I'm right about that, there's no fucking way that he's going to cover a minus 350. Plain and simple. Michael Chiesa covering minus 350 at distant striking range in the UFC in the year 2025 ain't happening. I don't give a fuck if his opponent is 40 years old.
That's true. That's true. Chris saying, why do I feel like there will be a survey for Michael Chiesa next week on the stat diggers? Get some help? Potentially. Iceland saying over 2.5 is what I like here.
Me too.
Michael Chiesa minus 140 when he's in his 20s. This fight needs to get some help. I agree. Whoever loses this fight retires. Never wins this fight also retires. Double retirement fight.
I like it.
I think Chiesa could out grapple McGee. Yeah, we'll have to see. He's going to have to pay off this price tag. This fight does smack behind a dumpster at your local gas station. Oh boy,
they deserve more respect than that. Pickle Kush. These are two veterans of the sport.
They are. Chiesa doesn't need to out wrestle. He just needs to take the back. He's a dangerous grappler. Look at Goons of Colton G. Tow truck. Don't take Apple Pay. As soon as Uber gets here, it's pipe time. Brady buns. Okay.
They're having problems. There we
go. Got McGee plus 375 and the over 2.5 minus 115. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You beat a lot of Limud on both those. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be a fight that we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's Rodolfo Bellato, Paul Craig. We got Bellato, 29 years old, 6'3", with a 75-inch reach. Paul Craig, 37 years old, 6'3", with a 76-inch reach. We got Bellato, 8 years younger, same height, and Craig with a 1-inch reach advantage. Paul Craig, 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Johnny Walker. Knockout win against Andre Muniz. The submission loss to Brendan Allen, knockout loss to Kyle Bahayo, and the decision loss to Bo Nickel. As far as Rodolfo Bellato, 4-0 in one no contest or one draw in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Ihor Peteria, won that fight by second-round knockout. Also knocked out Taha on the Contender Series in the second round, and then had a draw against Jimmy Cruz. We were supposed to watch this a couple weeks ago. The fight got canceled. I believe it was like on like the main card. And apparently Rodolfo Bellato pulled out due to herpes. That's what it was, right? Herpes?
It was herpes, yeah.
And I posted on Twitter, I'm like, are we just going to ignore that this dude just pulled out of a fight due to herpes? Like, what was this guy doing in Vegas over the week? And somebody commented and he said, hey, come on, man, we've all been there. And no, we haven't. We speak for yourself. We all haven't been there. So, yeah, Rodolfo Bellato has the herpes. And nothing's really changed. The pick is Bellato. Paul Craig's now 38, coming back up to light heavyweight. Middleweight didn't go too great for him. And I kind of like Bellato. I do think he's extremely chinny. And, I'll be looking to fade his chin in the future. But Paul Craig's not knocking him out. I don't think Paul Craig's taking him down. I think Bellato's probably going to hit him and put down Craig at some point in this fight. So Bellato, my pick when this fight was booked last time was Bellato KO2, and I don't see why that should change here, herpes or not. So Bellato KO2 for me. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, no reason to talk about this. We've talked about this fight so many times already. We broke it down 3 times the last time they were supposed to fight. Yeah, I think it's Bellato, probably rounds 1 or 2. But he's got to be careful. You get in Paul Craig's guard, he could end that fight very fast with his triangle or armbar series. So, yeah, this is going to be a violent fight, a fun fight for the fans, and I think they're going to show out for the crowd. But, yeah, it's probably going to be Bellato with some kind of a heavy knockout in the first or second round.
Yep, and maybe this is the last we see of Paul Craig. I mean, Paul 1-4 in his last 5 fights. If he loses this one, he'll be 1-5 in his last 6. Not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
It's not a good run. I mean, he really is truly a submission or bust fighter.
Yep. Let's see. So yeah, this line looks about the same. Bellotto minus 350, Craig plus 285, over under instead of 1.5. The over 1.5 minus 150, and the under 1.5 is plus 117. Bellotto KO2 seems obvious. Just follow the Kyle Bahayo game plan. Yeah, Kyle fought smart. It's like he didn't engage in the grappling at all, and literally just knocked him out. I mean, yeah, agreed. You don't want to go to the ground with Paul Craig. That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
Craig Bellotto, Brundage Malik, Wellmaker Moutinho, Violence Parlay. I think that comes through.
Agreed.
Comes through. My bad. This is the fight that'll smack behind the dumpster. Yeah, this fight will smack anywhere. This fight will smack at a Waffle House, at a Planet Fitness. This fight will smack anywhere. I think it's gonna be a fun fight. Bellotto gets some Voltrex.
Mm-hmm. That's medicine for herpes, Brady.
Okay.
And not all herpes, just so you know, is sexually transmitted.
Okay.
It like anytime that you've had a cold sore, you ever had one?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you've had herpes.
Oh God.
That's what it is, you know.
Oh.
And there's so if you were to like kiss somebody when you had that, they would probably get it from you. But then there's other kinds of herpes, which is permanent, and it is sexually transmitted. So we didn't know whether Bellotto's was of a sexual nature or just either way. When you have it, it's transmittable. So like it seems like a dumbass reason. Like, holy shit, really? Somebody had a cold sore? Because it's not obviously the genetically one. I mean, like you're wearing a cup over that. So like, you know, you're not going to transmit that herpes. But yeah, so that's what we got served with there. We should have already seen this fight.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a.
Well, neither am I, Brady.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people say that this is not financial advice. Anything that you hear on Stat Diggers is not to be considered medical advice.
Absolutely not.
Brady and I are not professionals.
Yeah, I wish we had Dr. Peener in here. I think he could
I know.
tell us a thing or two about some herpes. Dr. Peener. I haven't seen him though.
Yeah, we haven't seen him yet today, but he could straighten us out on this one.
Yeah. Bellotto got another super fan. There you go. Bellotto's been in Thailand with Jourdain. Oh, God. Oh, my God. 67% of people have herpes simplex. Adolfo Bellotto, get some penicillin and get some help. Get some help. Get some help. Paul, already been talking.
Oh, the retirement.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. He said it a couple of fights ago. It's like he doesn't want to fight like all the way to like his 40s and stuff. Like he says he doesn't have much time left, and that was like a couple of years ago at this point. He said that. So
Makes
yeah,
sense.
maybe this might be one of the last fights, especially if he gets herpes from Bellotto here.
He doesn't need that.
No, he does not. If you haven't already had an STD, you're a loser. Okay.
Oh, no.
It's Dr. Weezy and Uncle Brady. Getting an STD used to be on my bucket list. All right. So I say we move on then. On that note. All right. Moving on to the next fight. It is Omar C going against Alonzo Menfield. We got Omar C, who is 29 years old, 6'5" with an 84-inch reach. Menfield, 37 years old, 6 foot with a 76-inch reach. He's going to be 8 years younger. Is he really 6'5"?
That's what he's listed at, man.
Holy
I don't know
crap.
if he's really 6'5", but
dude's a
let's
liar.
see if they change that on UFC stats because sometimes they get changed. But
there's no way he's 6. I mean, dude, he's lying.
Now he's listed at 6'4".
Okay, so he's gonna be 6'3" next time he fights. Okay,
it might be.
Okay, he's doing a Rosenstruck. Okay, because he's not anywhere near 6'5", 6'3" at best. So yeah, he's gonna be bigger. 8-inch reach advantage as well. Menfield is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Jimmy Crute. Decision win against Dustin Jacoby. Knockout loss to Olberg. Knockout loss to Azamat. Decision win against Julius Walker. As far as C, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Tuco Tokus. Won this fight by submission. And then he knocked out took Da-Un Bum to a decision and won that decision across 15 minutes. So Omar C is sitting as a -600 favorite. Menfield plus 425. And this line's kind of crazy to me. Like Alonzo Menfield is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes he'll show up and look pretty good. Sometimes he'll show up and you'll get sparked. But you watch fights on the C, and pretty much every single fight, he's shooting in for a takedown within like the first 15 seconds of the fight. The fight against Daun Bum was the most striking I think I've ever seen across all of his fights combined. And it did look good, don't get me wrong, but it's against Daun Bum, right? So what worries me here, especially when we're talking about laying minus 600 for C, is Alonzo Menfield's very physically strong. He's very hard to take down, and he's a lot harder to take down than Daun Bum. And C even struggled to take down and hold down Daun Bum. So I don't know, man. I really struggled to lay anywhere near minus 600 on Omar C. This might be a pass fight for me. Like even the total, it's tricky. It's the over under 1.5 is about a pick 'em. Well, under 1.5 is a plus money. Like I could see this finishing early, or I could see it being like a 15-minute sloppy, greasy fight, kind of like the Walker fight. So I don't know. This is a fight that I don't feel great about. Probably going to stay away from this one. What are your thoughts on this one, Weezy?
I think Umar sees the goods. I think he's probably going to be a top 10 light heavyweight at some point, maybe even top 5. You don't see a lot of these guys have really dominant grappling, and C does have that. And it's not a deep division, right? I mean, you can climb this ladder pretty quickly if you get the right set of fights. And he got Tacos in his debut and ran through him. But Daun Jung is a guy who had a few UFC wins. He's got almost 10 UFC fights, I think, in total. And Umar went out there and not only won some minutes with the grappling, but he showed that he can win minutes in the striking against somebody who's basically winning minutes with his striking at the UFC level in Daun Jung. So I thought that was an impressive performance. If Umar C's striking catches up to the grappling, or at least just becomes serviceable enough to be able to win some minutes against somebody that might even be a better grappler than him, like if you were to fight like a Jailton Almeida type, he's probably going to want to be able to rely on his striking. And the fact that he was able to rely on it against Daun Jung leads me to believe that this guy is like, he's just kind of, it's just going to be a matter of time before he has a number next to his name. And if I'm right about that, Brady, then he's going to beat Alonzo Menfield. But the line, he hasn't done it yet. He doesn't have a number next to his name yet. He still hasn't beaten anybody that's on Alonzo Menfield's level yet. And for somebody like C, who's so dominant in the grappling, it's kind of scary to see him fighting Alonzo Menfield, who's got 80% takedown defense at the UFC level, who's been extremely efficient in the grappling exchanges. The guy's very good in the clinch, 80% takedown defense. He wins 60% of the control time positions in his fights. So if Umar C's not able to take Alonzo down and hold him down, is he going to look minus 600 on the feet against Zoe? No way. Especially because, Alonzo Menfield has been in there against guys like Dustin Jacoby and Azamat Mirzakhanov and Carlos Ulberg and, Jimmy Crute. I mean, the list goes on of all the high-level guys that Menfield has fought, and he's had some absolute wars. That first Jimmy Crute fight was incredible. Back and forth war. That Julius Walker fight was incredible. A back and forth war, very high-paced. And he's found himself in a lot of these type of fights. So, I think that this line is very disrespectful to Alonzo Menfield, because not just because I think that the massive strength of schedule advantage on the Menfield side, the power advantage on the feet, even just the distance striking advantage. He's gonna be better than Umar C at distance striking range, I think. So this does feels disrespectful, because Umar, it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to be able to take down Alonzo and hold him down.
Yeah, and if I was laying minus 600, I kind of would want him to, be confident that he's going to go out there and get this fight to the ground where he's best. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do that. So, we'll see. C opened at minus 400, currently minus 600. Menfield opened at plus 320, currently plus 425. Over 1.5, minus 130. Under 1.5 is plus 100. I'm probably staying away from this one. I might just sit back and and enjoy this one.
I think I would maybe go with an over here.
Yeah, I could see it. That.
Yeah, C's never been finished. Menfield's been knocked out 3 times, but I mean, Umar C isn't knocking him out on the feet. If he gets him down and gets to a dominant position, then he's going to be live for a submission or a knockout. But he's going to have to get him there first, and it's very difficult to do that against Alonso.
Yeah, I leaned over just because I haven't really seen C knock out anybody out on the feet. I've seen some like TKOs like on the ground.
Yeah,
but in some subs, but never really seen him not going to be out on the feet. So, yeah, I would lean over. I'm just not sure. I'd bet it though. STD by the numbers. Oh, come on.
Heyo.
Come on. Jersino Biggie Boy is 6'5". Yeah, he said he was. Said he was. Isai, an overpriced Frenchman. Yeah, it's a wide line. Minus 600. What could go wrong? Lock of the week. Yeah, we'll see. Alonzo Milkafield with triple D. Right melons for the milking. Oh my gosh. Daun Bum. Yeah, it's pronounced Daun Bum. What else have we got in here? Menfield ain't tickling nobody. What does that mean?
I don't know.
You can't disrespect Alonzo. Menfield looked atrocious his last fight. Well, to be fair, Menfield and Walker are both gassed out after 3 minutes, and it just turned into like a sloppy, greasy 15-minute fight.
It was a super high-paced fight, though.
Oh,
it
yeah,
really was. I mean,
time.
like that was like 100 miles an hour from the first minute. So they were both going to get tired there.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next fight. Before we do so, we have 477 of you guys watching between X and YouTube. If you guys could smash the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Do got to shout out our sponsor, and that's our guy Avery. Shout out to Avery for sponsoring the show. Appreciate you, Avery, and shout out to you guys for hanging out with us on a Sunday night. Earlier in the chat, Wheezy, we had like 80 something like. I hope we hit 100. I hope we hit 100. Let's take a look. 125. Wow.
All right, there we go. That's a good number.
That's a very good number. So appreciate you guys for that. Appreciate it.
If we get to 200 likes, Brady, I am flying to New York, and I'm going to try to get a heavyweight fight in CES.
All right, deal. And if we get 200 likes, I'll get a tattoo that says "Free Spirit" tatted across my neck. Has to be during the show, though. Has to be during the show. We got to pitch in and get Avery a lady boy in Tyler. I don't think Avery wants that.
I don't think so either.
I think Avery likes it's a woman, as far as I'm concerned. Hit the like. I agree. All right, guys. Let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be. Oh, there we go. Mansour Abdul Malik going against Cody Brundage. We got Abdul Malik, 27 years old, 6'2", 79-inch reach. Brundage, 31 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. Mansour Abdul Malik, 4 years younger, 2-inch height advantage and a 7-inch reach advantage. Abdul Malik, 5-0 in his last 5 fights, all by knockout. And a second-round knockout on the Contender Series. First-round knockout against Dusko. Second-round knockout against Nick Klein his last time out. As far as Cody Brundage, he is 3-1 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. He brutally knocked out Jacob Malkoon in the first round, got a first-round knockout win there. Knocked out Zachary Reese, lost by submission to Bo Nickel, had that no contest against Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, and then beat Julian Marquez by knockout. So, yeah, I mean, Mansour Abdul Malik, this guy is just insane. I mean, this guy has a lot of power, very physically strong. I think it's a really bad matchup for our guy Cody Brundage, and the line kind of does indicate that. Like, why does the UFC hate Cody Brundage? I mean, look at some of these matchups. Look at some of these just terrible matchups, like Bo Nickel, Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. I mean, that's a tough matchup. That's a tough matchup there. And now they're giving him arguably maybe one of his toughest matchups to date against Mansour Abdul Malik, a guy that has a ton of hype, a guy that has a ton of power. These guys are going to swing dicks. These guys are going to go out there. They're going to swing dicks. They're going to stand in the middle. They're going to whip out their cocks. They're going to bring in the measuring tape, and they're going to see who has the bigger dick. So I'll pose you this question, Wheezy. Between Mansour Abdul Malik and Cody Brundage, which one of these guys has the bigger dick? And I think answering this question will probably tell you who's going to win the fight.
Yeah, and I mean, like, God, I mean, like, Malik took like all the steroids. I mean, the guy is just absolutely a mountain of a man. I'm not exactly sure how he makes 185, and Cody's a guy that can make 170 if he wanted to. So, you know, Mansour is going to be the bigger dude. He's got a 7-inch reach advantage over Cody too. But we've seen Mansour take some big shots. It's happened on the regional scene. You know, he had to go deep into round 2 with Wes Schultz, and you know, and there were some good scrambles in that spot. You know, and Cody Brundage he's gonna look to hurt you. This isn't a free fight, man. Cody's got 11 UFC fights. He's 5-5 with a no contest. This guy knocked out Jacob Malkoun in the first round. You know, I mean, like, so you know, you're not gonna just, you know, I mean, it's and Cody can match the wrestling of Mansour Abdul Malik. So it's going to be a really fun fight. Cody's going to bring it in that first 5 minutes, and Mansour is the kind of guy where if you make one mistake and this guy, you know, hits you clean once, it's probably going to be nighty night. Keep your butthole tight. So what's the under 1.5 rounds, Brady?
It's minus 160.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm hoping money comes in on the over, though.
I'd like it. I'd like that. You know what? I mean, yeah, this guy Malik's a candy ass. I don't think he's finishing anybody at this level. And Brundage is as durable as they come, dude. Like, I think everybody should be betting the over. And that, you know, maybe if they move that over enough, we'll come in and sneak in on the under if they move it enough. But, yeah, man, this is going to be an absolute banger of a fight. I'd be surprised, you know, if this thing lasted more than 6 or 7 minutes, though.
Yeah, unless Herzog's in there. I mean, we're in Atlanta. You think Herzog's making the trip out to Atlanta?
He might be. He was there last night.
That he was.
You know, it's not that far from beautiful Newark, New Jersey. You just kind of go a little bit west and a lot south, and you're right down there in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, so maybe Herzog's right. I remember Herzog was actually reffing Mansour Abdul Malik and Nick Klein, and I had the fight won't start round 3 there. It was a sweat. It was an absolute sweat, but he finally stopped the fight late round 2.
Dude, I remember that guy that was reffing the Josh Van fight last night. Like, Van, when he dropped him for the 3rd time, I remember he was standing as far away from the fight as Keith Peterson was standing away from the fight where Santos fought Guida. You remember that one?
Yeah.
And I'm like, will you get in there and stop this fight, you know? And he finally stopped it with a minute left, man. Thank God. That was the biggest hit. But, yeah, this is I hope whoever is reffing this fight has fighter safety at mind, because both of these guys hit really hard and both of these guys can finish fights.
Yeah, I think somebody's getting served here, unfortunately. I think somebody's getting served pretty brutally. They really hate Cody Brundage. That's kind of what it seems like with some of these matchups they're giving him. Mansour should be the biggest favorite on here, and I believe he's the second biggest favorite behind Wellmaker, who's minus 1,300. So we can parlay both those guys up. Ugh. Sorry, no good feet this week. Yeah,
and Wiki feet, you know.
There's really not. I mean, I don't know. Does Michael Chiesa have a wiki? We'll have to check. I don't know. Not a lot of great options. Oh, we didn't check Demopoulos' wiki feet. I'm sure Vanessa has a wiki feet account. Let's see. Demop. Yeah, she does. Wow, 327 photos. Oh, not the best rating. 4.5 stars. Typically, you'd like to see it in the 4.7s.
Yeah, but what about Horth?
Well, I'd be kind of shocked if she had a wiki feet. Let's see.
Yeah, because if she's got like a big toe like Shaq, maybe Vanessa will have the much better rating there, and there might be some value on the underdog money then.
No, Horth doesn't have a wiki feed, unfortunately.
Damn it. All right. Bummer.
Yeah. Just taking a look at some of these Vanessa photos. They got 324 photos on here, guys. 327.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you could say whatever you want about wiki feet, but damn it, they're thorough.
That they are.
Yeah.
That they are. Where are we with the? Yeah, we're still working on it. Hopefully, we get something up and running in the next by the end of the year, maybe.
Dude, like the behind the scenes machinations to this wiki ass idea. When we get it, we got to get it right. So we're leaving no stone unturned in trying to put this together. So give it time. When it comes, it's gonna be epic.
And so on WikiFeet, we actually have a WikiFeet men for our website. WikiAsk, we are not going to have a
no.
WikiAsk men section.
Nobody's interested. No lady boys either. You're not tricking us. Yep. Just female asses.
Yes.
Like it was meant to be.
Yes.
USA.
Yeah. Unless it's Parker Porter. I mean, then we're going to put Porter on there. Let's Mansour and the Bellotto parlay. Moutinho Brundage parlay for the bag. That would be a massive hit.
That's a big. Let me see what that is right now.
Something
what can
crazy.
we get if we do the Stat Diggers parlay as Chris Moutinho at plus 775 and our guy Cody Brundage, friend of the show, at plus 525. You parlay those together, it's plus 53.69, man.
Jeez,
that is for the bag.
Jeez. Malik did almost get fraud. I mean, Klein hurt Malik bad in the first round. And Brundage has power, so yeah.
Yes.
Cody is coming, swinging. That's all he does. I mean, he comes out there and swings his dick, and it's fun to watch. It's absolutely fun to watch.
Yeah, man, and he's got 5 UFC wins, and they're all finishes. So he's going to come out there, and if you're going to be hittable against Cody Brundage, ask Terigi and Gore how that feels. I'll ask Jacob Malkoon how it felt to get slept in round number 1 by Cody. Ask how it felt Zach Reese. Ask, Marquez how it felt. This guy can knock you out.
All first rounds, by the way. All first round knockouts. Mansour, 100% the type of guy to get himself DQ'd against Brundage. Yeah, I could see it.
It could happen.
Can we make this the... no, come on, dude. Come on. No. I'm going to go on a limb and guess for some reason Malik has the bigger schlong. I don't know. We'll have to ask Dr.
We're going to find out on Saturday, aren't we?
Dr. Peener probably has that information for us. Yeah, it was a little sus. But, is ripping out someone's heart designated as a TKO, or it's probably a TKO, right?
TKO.
Yeah.
TKO.
Gotta be TKO. Yeah, agreed. Milked by the Brundage, and it made Malik disgusting. That is disgusting. That was Beltran. What was Beltran?
I think he was saying maybe that Beltran either was the referee in the Santos Guida fight, but no, that was Keith Peterson.
Yeah, it was definitely Peterson.
That was definitely Keith Peterson, but he might have been talking about one of the fights last night where it was Beltran that we mentioned.
Yep. Does Maverick have a wiki feed? I imagine they're hairy. Why would they be hairy? Come on, man. Why would they be hairy?
Yeah, I don't think they would be.
Wiki ass is still on the ground floor, but they're looking to raise it up soon. Yeah, we're trying, man.
That's right.
We're trying.
We're gonna hoist it like the Amish hoist a barn, Brady. We're gonna make this happen. It's just that we got to get our ducks in a row.
Cody Brundage lost to Cedricus Dumas. Enough said. Oh, by the way, Dumas is out of prison. I saw him. He actually did an interview. Recently.
Good.
He's out of prison, and he said the charges that they were false. And I got to go watch the interview. I got to see what's up.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's wait for somebody to actually put some subtitles on there. You know what I'm saying, so that we can understand what the hell that he's saying. Hopefully he's holding his infant son and calling him an MF 7 or 8 times, like the last interview that I saw.
Oh, back to the drum board.
I gotta take care of this motherfucker here. Whoa, are you really smoking a blunt that close to him? Like,
oh gosh. What's going on in the chat? Where's my mods? What is going on? Who's Freedom? What's going on in the chat? Where's my mods at?
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. People are talking about goat milk and freedom. I'm confused. Dumas versus Tuolumne 2 is the fight to make.
Yeah, I think so.
Back to the drum board.
Back to the drum board. Glad I didn't have to say that last night.
What is going on in the chat? Are you seeing this?
Yeah. Oh my God. It always goes off the rails, Brady, and I don't know if it's our fault. It might be our fault, you know.
We got comments like this.
Yeah.
Okay, where are my mods at? Where are my mod? Where is Milkman? Where is Dixon? Where's Uncle Weezy's a mod? He's on the show though, so we can't do anything. So mods, let's get together. If we need to, we got to start timing some people out for some of these comments. Like I don't understand. I just joined. Is Wellmaker on this card? What's your prediction? My prediction is Wellmaker by knockout.
Yes, mine too.
Like what?
Who?
What is going on?
Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. What are you doing, man?
We got Bub Collins with the 199. I'll be
Bub.
the mod. I might need to add another mod or two here. I mean, where are my mods at? Are they sleeping? Milkman, are you sleeping? Dixon, are you sleeping? Let's get it together. Let's get it together. I might need to add another mod or two. All right. Let's move on to
what is the next fight? My God.
The chat's really distracting me. Talking about HIV and goat milk and
I'm grabbing I gotta top off my beverage. Take us through this next fight.
Yeah, I got you. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Cody Garbrandt going against Hany Barcelos. We got Garbrandt, 33 years old, 5'8", with a 65-inch reach. Barcelos, 38 years old, 5'7", with a 67-inch reach. Garbrandt, 5 years younger, 1-inch height advantage. And we got Barcelos with a 2-inch reach advantage. We got Garbrandt, who is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss against Rob Font. Knockout loss against Kai Kara France. Decision win against Trevin Jones. Knockout win against Brian Kelleher. And then a submission loss to Davison Figueiredo. As far as Barcelos, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Trevin Jones. A knockout loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. Decision loss to Kyler Phillips. Submission win against Christian Quinones. And then a big, giant upset win against Peyton Talbot his last time out. Yeah, very interesting fight here. Barcelos is now 38 years old at this point, and I've always been a big fan of Barcelos. The only thing I didn't like is he kind of had been very inactive throughout his career. And 38 years old now. Garbrandt 5 years younger at this point. Garbrandt has a lot of power. Barcelos has probably the volume advantage here. This is a very interesting, kind of a tough fight to call. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight? Sorry, the chat is distracting me so bad, but what are your thoughts on this fight? What is going on?
It's a tough one because I think like Cody Garbrandt might be more washed at 34 than Ronnie Barcelos is at 38. You know, like the Cody Garbrandt performance against Dominic Cruz, you know, like there's that fight and then there's the rest of his career, you know. I mean, like after that fight, he hasn't had one performance where I'd be like, whoa, you know, would it have been the Trevin Jones win? The fight that he barely won, knocking out Brian Kelleher, who cares? He had that crazy left hook that he landed against Asuncao that was like a lucky punch, in my opinion. You know, this guy is not good. And then he got rinsed. I mean, rinsed on the ground by Davison Figueiredo. I mean, rear naked choked. He looked like a white belt on the ground. He doesn't throw any volume, 7.7 distance strike attempts per minute. So I cannot get behind Cody Garbrandt for any reason. I don't think he's going to knock out Hany Barcelos. I know he's not fucking out wrestling Hany Barcelos. And if this fight gets to the ground, Hany's probably going to submit this white belt. So, God, I think it's Barcelos, man. I mean, I don't know where Cody's better than him.
Let's see. Barcelos opened up minus 155. He's currently minus 170. Garbrandt opened up plus 135, currently plus 145. The over-under is set at 2.5. The over 2.5 minus 135. The under 2.5 is plus 105. I don't think the under is like horrible, but I don't know. I'm not convinced Barcelos will be able to get Garbrandt down. Like Garbrandt typically does have really good takedown defense. I'm not sure what happened in the Figgy fight, to be honest. But yeah, it was wasn't the best look, was it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We didn't see any grappling in his fights at all until Figueiredo decided to shoot for a takedown. It's like, holy shit, does Cody suck on the ground? You know, that was horrible. So he does have historically 80% takedown defense, Cody Garbrandt. And we know that he comes from a wrestling background. So, yeah, he's always been able to keep the fight standing, which is where he wants it. He wants to box. He wants to find that big power shot that changes the trajectory of the fight. But I don't think he's very powerful anymore. You know, I don't think he's that fast anymore. I mean, this guy's pushing 34 years old as a bantamweight. And even though Barcelos is 38, these guys have a similar amount of pro and UFC experience between the two of them. So I just think that Barcelos, who's finally healthy now, Barcelos never fought when he was young because he can never make it to the cage. Now that he's healthy, he's older, and it's a shame. But like, if this guy could beat Peyton Talbot and out-grapple Peyton Talbot, he could fucking out-grapple Cody Garbrandt.
I mean, Talbot does have 10% takedown defense, though.
Yeah, but watch all of Peyton Talbot's fights. He's getting taken down, and what happens? He gets right back up, and he puts a pace on his opponents. The guy doesn't get tired. He can get back up. Not against Hani. Hani got on top of him, and he couldn't separate from him at all. So Cody Garbrandt is somebody that has shown good takedown defense, but against who and how much of it? Because he's only seen 2.1 takedown attempts against per 15 minutes. So I think there's a wide open opportunity for Hani Barcelos to take advantage of the grappling advantage that he has in this fight. And at distance striking range, he's going to do a lot more as well.
What's that? I think Colin G's goons might have showed up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, they said that they were on their way, but I think they had to take an Uber because there was a flat tire.
Oh my God.
Then AAA was on their way.
Yeah, that's not good. Hopefully they're not able to get in the house. We got Blake, Brady Weezy. Hope you all enjoyed this week as much as I did and made some money as well. Yeah, this week was fun, man. This one was fun.
We thoroughly enjoyed this week.
Did y'all see Patchy's Mix's nickname is No Love? Yes, it is.
Yep.
ITAT Garbrandt is minus EV like a MF. Yeah, did you see the new ITAT for Cody?
No, I didn't. He's got a face tattoo.
Yeah, he got a face tattoo.
I've always said that if you're going to do that, you want to do it in your 30s, you know, when it's just clear that, like, yeah, you're making really bad life decisions. Don't do it when you're young and then you have an excuse when you're 40 to be like, yeah, I did this when I was 18 and stupid. Do it in your 30s when you're already a grown man and have a family.
Right. I agree. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Andre Petroski going against Edmund Shahbazyan. We got Shahbazyan, 27 years old, 6'2", 74-inch reach. Petroski, 33 years old, 6 foot with a 73-inch reach. Shahbazyan, 6 years younger, 2-inch height advantage, 1-inch reach advantage. Shahbazyan is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Dolce. Knockout loss to Anthony Hernandez. Knockout win against AJ Dobson. Submission loss to Gerald Mearshart. And then a knockout win against Dylan Butker. As far as Petroski, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Michelle Pereira. Knockout loss against Jacob Malkoon. Decision win against Josh Frem. Decision win against Dylan Butker. And then a decision win against Rodolfo Vieira. Yeah, I think this fight plays out one of two ways. Either Edmund Shahbazyan knocks out the very chinny Andre Petroski, or Petroski is able to get the grappling going. He drains Shahbazyan over the course of 15 minutes and probably wins by decision. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the two ways that it plays out. I think the winner of this fight probably looks like a big favorite, but right now the favorite in this fight is Shahbazyan. He's like minus 200. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight here?
Yeah, I'm very interested on the Petroski side here because there's obviously a path to victory for him. Shahbazyan, 66% takedown defense and he's been controlled for over 26% of his UFC octagon time. So the door is going to be open for Petroski to find a way to close the distance, to get in on a single leg and start to put his takedown attempts together, get him down, get to a dominant position, and either bank the round or try to finish the fight. We haven't seen Petroski take a lot of chances on the ground, which makes him the kind of guy that you want to back, because, you know, Petroski's the kind of guy right now it's one takedown and you're losing the round. He's not giving anybody any air. He's not giving anybody a chance to get back up, and he's just not taking a lot of chances when he's on top, but he's very position over submission, and he's very reliable to win minutes in that fashion. And we've never seen Edmund Shahbazyan be a guy that we're going to say is going to go out there and out wrestle somebody. But the problem with Petroski is you still can't get the image out of your head of this dude knocking himself out on a hip bone, you know. And I've seen Dylan Budker land a jab against him that made it look like he was a little bit on skates. I saw Jacob Malkoun land a jab against Petroski that looked like it had him, you know, his brains scrambled for a second or two. So you're walking a razor's edge with Petroski. He's kind of like the middleweight Sabatini. You know, you have to worry that he's gonna get clipped. The durability isn't there. The ability to take a punch isn't there. But if he doesn't get clipped, he's gonna get his grappling game going, and he's gonna win a ton of minutes with it in a very reliable and safe fashion. So Petroski's money line at plus 175. If you can get past the fact that, yeah, he might be sleeping on the canvas in round one or in early round two, then you can make that bet, because I promise you, if he makes it out of round one and he gets a takedown in round two, this fight's fucking over. It's over, because Shahbazyan's not going to be able to get back to his feet, and going to knock him out in the third round after wearing his weight in the first and second. So I think there's some really good underdog money here on Petroski. The way that this dude blends his wrestling with his Brazilian jiu-jitsu is just brilliant. I'm fucking mad at him, though, Brady. I had the Fremd fight finishing inside the distance, a big bet on violence there. I had the Dylan Budker fight finishing inside the distance, big bet on violence there. And this guy does nothing when he's on top. So I've had the wrong bets, because the right bets would have just been Petroski money line, and you would have been sitting back, smoking a cigar with your feet up, just enjoying the fact that this guy can just drain minutes on top of his opponents. So I like Petroski to win this fight, but obviously Shahbazyan, if I'm betting him, I'm not laying juice on his money line. I'm just playing the KO prop.
Yep, KO won. That's what I did in his last fight against Budka. Pretty easy. KO won there. So yeah, I think it plays out two ways. Either Shahbazyan sparks Petroski, or like you said, he takes him down and drains him over the course of 3 rounds. I do lean towards Edmund by knockout. I hope he knocks out Petroski. I'm sick of this guy, man. I'm sick of losing money on Petroski. I think I lost money on the Vieira, Budka, and Frem fights. Like, how do you not finish Dylan Budka? I mean, and Dylan Budka almost died on the scale the day before.
I know.
I know. Terrible.
I know. I was so furious at, and sometimes you make that bet and there's still 9 minutes left for the bet to cash, and you know that it's not going to cash, and you're sitting there just watching it, feeling sad, wondering what you're doing with your life. Why good things happen or bad things happen to good people while you sit there watching your money just fly away as Petroski just jack shit on top. But man, the guy's a really good minute winner, and his wrestling and his Brazilian jiu-jitsu, he combines them beautifully.
Yep. So it just can't get touched here. Shahbazyan minus 200, Petroski plus 170. Money's coming in on the under, which makes sense, because I mean, if Shahbazyan's minus 200, the under 1.5 should not be plus 132. Because if he's winning, it's under 1.5 rounds. You got to think, right?
Probably.
Does draining Shahbazyan mean a golden shower? No. Like, that's not something that we've. No. That's your sick head
that's coming up with that.
Petroski line going to get steamed. Maybe. Has this line moved at all? Let's see. Shahbazyan was minus 240, opened up, now minus 200. Maybe the line comes in. We'll see. Shahbazyan does him like Michelle Pereira did, most likely. Yeah, I can see it. Petroski probably can't even finish a gassed Edmund. Yeah, I struggle to see Petroski finishing anybody. It took him almost 15 minutes to finish Yezhong Hu and Michael Gilmore, right?
Yeah, it took him a long time to finish those guys, but like if you make a mistake against Petroski, he's gonna wrap up your neck and finish you, just like Nick Maximov. You know, he was a big underdog in that fight, and he easily finished Maximov. So, you just don't want to make a mistake against this guy.
Yeah. This is why I don't bet MMA anymore. Why would happen?
Why? Oh, is it probably the patchy mix thing?
Yeah, Petroski has been in Thailand. I don't think he's there for the lady. He's probably there for just to train and stuff.
Yeah. I watched a recent CFFC event, and they had Petroski as the announcer, right? So he was there with John Morgan, I believe, is the guy that does it. And he was hilarious, dude. He kept talking shit about Bo Nickel, said that he's been like trying to call out Bo Nickel and that he wants a fight with Bo Nickel, and that he's got people like he's got spies at American Top Team who are trying to get watching Bo Nickel for him. It was pretty funny. He did a really good job.
That's funny. What's good? Trying to get piped. Well, hit up Colton G and his goons.
Yeah, there you go.
Pipe you. They'll pipe you real good. Petroski wasn't there for the Muay Thai. Come on. Yeah, I could absolutely see this fight playing out like Ritu Sabatini. Yeah, good. Very well good. That's his path. Absolutely his path. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. It is going to be the co-main event. Thug Rose going against Miranda Maverick. We got Rose, 32 years old, 5'5" with a 65-inch reach. Maverick, 27 years old, 5'3" with a 65-inch reach. Maverick, 5 years younger. Rose with a 2-inch height advantage, same reach there. Rose is 2-3 in her last 5 fights. Decision loss against Carla Esparza. Decision.
Oh, Brady froze. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna bring it in here while we wait for Brady to unfreeze. So Thug Rose, obviously the older but more experienced fighter here. Oh, there you are. You're back.
It's Cole and Gene. It happened last week too.
Oh no, dude! Are they outside like cutting your phone while you're?
I think the
lights are gonna go off. You know.
Yeah, man. It's Cole and Gene and his goons, man. All right. Anyway, we have Thug Rose, pretty big favorite, minus 265. Miranda Maverick plus 225. Take it away.
Yeah, I don't really feel like minus 265 on Thug Rose is like a good idea here. I don't think Miranda Maverick is that much worse than Thug Rose in any area of MMA right now. First of all, she's 5 years younger, so I like that. She's a southpaw. I like that. Miranda's got some pretty good wrestling. She's out-controlling her opponents 32% to 21%, winning about 60% of the control time positions in her fights. And we're kind of seeing Thug Rose's takedown defense be dog shit lately. You know, when people want to take her down, they're taking her down. Obviously, the Tracy Cortez, the fact that she was able to keep it standing against Cortez was a good look. But Tracy took that fight on like less than 2 weeks' notice at Elevation. So, you know, you can make an excuse for Tracy that maybe we didn't see her best wrestling in that performance. So Miranda Maverick actually has some pretty good striking numbers at the UFC level with a positive 1.7 distance striking differential, 40% accuracy, 64.5% defense. But obviously Thug Rose, you know, a former champion, and she's been able to win minutes at the highest level in this organization. So while I don't think it's a massive difference in the striking, obviously I'm rating Thug Rose as the better striker. And, you know, Rose has only been controlled for 10% of her UFC octagon time. So that she's done a great job of keeping fights standing. Over 70% of her UFC octagon time takes place at distance striking range, where, you know, she's going to be a little bit taller and probably be the cleaner, more technical striker. So I think it's an interesting fight because, you got these ladies where Rose in that last fight was able to win the first 2 rounds against Erin, but when Erin decided that she was going to pressure and wrestle and just stick to that, she was able to get Rose down. But the problem is that this isn't a 5-round fight. It's a 3-round fight. So she's going to have to find that success early. She's going to have to cut off the cage and find ways to try to get this fight to the ground. And it's not going to be easy against Rose, who does have an ability to get back up when she does get taken down. But yeah, man, Miranda's a lot younger, and that's very important. She's got 11 UFC fights. She's 8-3 in the UFC, and she's still not even 28 years old. So you got a young fighter who's going to be a lot hungrier. And I just didn't like what I saw because I had money on Rose the last time out against Erin because she was an underdog there, and I thought she would be able to keep it standing. And I don't really rate Erin's wrestling as being that great, but when Erin decided to actually commit to the takedowns, she had no problem getting them and winning minutes with them. So that's what I worry about on the Rose side, is that she isn't able to keep this fight standing. And if that's the case, I think Miranda Maverick's going to look a lot better than what her price tag indicates that she's going to look.
Yeah, I think it could be close. Like the over 2.5 is minus 450. So they're telling you it's going to decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's going into the hands of the crooked, blind, corrupt judges. Like we can get some interesting scorecards here.
Yeah, and Thug Rose is 6-4 to the decision, while Miranda's 5-3 to the decision. So they're both losing decisions. They're both not exactly the most reliable minute winners, but I think what we've seen from Maverick is, she'll lose minutes when she's getting taken down and dominated, like she was by Jazz Davicius, like she was by Blanchfield, So, but outside of that, she's usually able to kind of dictate whether the fight stays standing or whether the fight goes to the ground. And when she's able to do that, she can win minutes.
Yep. I think it could be a close fight. I'm interested to see what the plus 3.5 is on Maverick. We'll see what that is tomorrow. Win a round.
Yeah, win a round against Thug Rose. Yeah, it might even be plus money.
Could be. Looks like money is coming in on Maverick though, so we'll see. Maverick was as high as plus 275. She's currently plus 225. Rose was as big of a favorite as minus 325. Currently minus 265 there. Free Dumas. Yes, Dumas has actually been freed. He's out of prison, which is great. Like the bond was like over 100,000, something crazy. They let him out.
Yeah,
let him out.
Well, good. At least he's good. The Hood Wolf is free.
Colton G. Yeah, Colton G. Maverick. Yeah, Maverick does have a lot of physicality. That's for sure. Rose and Mav have been each other's main training partners for years now. It's going to play out close. You want to take the dog with all. Yeah, when we see like training partners fight, I don't know if they are currently, but they have in the past. Like not even too long ago, we've seen some crazy results with these training partners. Like I'll never forget the Devontae Smith, Kama Worthy fight. Like that was a little sketchy. Minus 1,000 Devontae Smith getting knocked out by a bum and Kama Worthy. I don't know. That was weird. Miranda and Rose trained sparred together for years. They know each other's styles very well. That's true. Didn't Rose beat Zhang Wei Li twice? Yeah, she did.
Head kick once and then a very close decision the next time.
Yeah, and that was a different weight class, but yet still very impressive. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Dumas could learn a thing or two about romance from Pat Barry. What? 3 rounds probably good for Miranda. Miranda is Uncle Weezy's feet shaving of the week. Yeah, they actually both have a wiki feet. And Miranda's wiki feet score is like 4.12, and which is not great. You'd like to see it closer to the 4.6, 4.7. And then Rose is only 4.32. So these ladies don't have the best wiki feet scores.
Okay.
And by the way, if you do go to wiki feet and go to the homepage, they actually put an article out for the week. It's called How to Like Feet Without Coming Off as a Creep. He tells them to check it out and let them know any feedback in the comment section.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's good. They're engaging in different ways.
There you go. So WikiFeet's a legit web. They got a lot of good stuff on there. I wonder what feed of the day. Who's on feed of the day? Oh wow, a Bad Baby feed of the day.
Who?
A Bad Baby.
Who's he?
It's a girl. Feed of the day. I think is she the girl that said "Catch me outside"? How about that? On Dr. Phil. I think so. I think she might be. And then she turned into a rapper.
But what are we showing babies for on WikiFeed? Isn't that like, don't they have to be of age or?
No, she's in her 20s. She's in her 20s.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I forgot that every artist today either has to have the word
baby.
Lil, has to have the word young, or has to have the word baby. You know, and that's pretty sure that like if you have any of those in your name, you suck at music. But yeah, Uncle Weezy's feet shaving of the week is not a real thing yet, but maybe it'll have to be.
Maybe it will be. And it'll be sponsored by WikiFeed, of course.
We got to get them on board.
Spreads only matter for decisions. Yeah. So say, for example, if you bet Miranda point spread and she gets finished, like it loses. But if she finishes, it wins. It cashes.
Yeah.
But she can't get finished, which I don't really see a finish here. Yeah, feed of the day. Feed of the day. Let's see. Okay, come on, man. Come on. It's not Baby Weezy, it's baby with the H. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's completely different. Gucci Flip Flops is I've heard that. She sings a song called Gucci Flip Flops.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you should check it out. You should check it out. All right, let's keep moving on. We got the main event. We got Joaquin Buckley going against Kamaru Usman. We got Buckley, 31 years old, 5'10" with a 76-inch reach. Usman, 38 years old, 6 foot, 76-inch reach. Usman, 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Jorge Masvidal. We have decision win against Colby Covington. Knockout loss against Leon Edwards. Decision loss against Leon Edwards. And then a decision loss against Khamzat Chimaev. As far as Buckley, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Alex Morono. Knockout win against Vicente Luque. Decision win against Nursultan Ruzaboev. Knockout win against Stephen Thompson. Knockout win against Colby Covington. So what I will say about this fight, if this fight was, say, 2 years ago, I mean, 5-unit max bet on Kamaru Usman plus 210. I mean, 2 years ago, this is a complete max bet on Kamaru Usman. But now he's 38 years old. He's got just a bad knee. He's been talking about those knees for like 5 years now. Like the knees are bad. So he's probably going to show up here this Saturday in Atlanta. The double knee sleeves, going to be limping to the cage. Yeah, this is probably Buckley. The only thing that's annoying about it is I don't want to lay minus 250. Like it does seem extremely disrespectful, right? Like Kamaru Usman, like this guy was on a one hell of a run at one point, like a long winning streak. Looked incredible, and then got knocked out with a minute left against Leon Edwards. And since then, it's been rough. He's only getting older. He's on a big layoff, and it's hard for me to pick the guy with the double knee sleeves. Gonna have the sleeves on the ankles potentially. I think Kamaru Usman's probably towards the end of his career. So yeah, for me, it's Buckley. One thing I will say though is I'm actually surprised that Buckley's minus 250, but the under's plus money. Like, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I think if Buckley's winning this fight and looking minus 250, I think he is knocking out Kamaru Usman. I mean, he's knocked out a lot of guys in the UFC. He knocked out Colby Covington, knocked out Stephen Thompson. Like, that's a great win. Knocked out Vicente Luque. I know he quit, but still, I kind of think the under 4.5 at plus money is kind of better than the minus 250 for Buckley. So that's how I might approach it. But, Buckley for me, I think he's getting Usman at the right time. If this fight was a couple of years ago, I think Usman would absolutely destroy him. Absolutely destroy him. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's really kind of hard to know where Kamaru is at this point in his career. He's 38 years old. He hasn't fought in a year and 7 months. You know, what's the motivation at this point in your career? What's your health? How seriously have you even been training for this fight? You know, because I faded Buckley against Stephen Thompson. I thought I was going to win that bet, but then he got knocked out late in the third. I faded him against Colby Covington, and Usman's better than both of those guys, obviously. And I think Usman's better at MMA everywhere than Buckley. Usman is the better wrestler. I think he's got better striking. He's always had phenomenal cardio and recoverability between rounds. So he's always been able to push a really heavy pace. And winning 90% of the control time positions in his fights, 90% takedown defense. So the guy's just been a master of being able to choose where the fight takes place and be the best version of himself in every fight. But he's 38 years old. He's fighting a 31-year-old guy who's, on a big winning streak here and who has a ton of power in his hands and is fighting for, legacy of his own. Something that Kamaru already has. He's one of the most dominant champions that the division has ever seen next to George St. Pierre. So, I think Kamaru is, a legend. So I think he's better than Joaquin Buckley. But the one thing that we don't know is how is he going to perform on Saturday, right? Year and a half layoff, bad knees, But this guy just had to arguably beat Khamzat Chimaev in his last fight. Would you be betting, Buckley against Chimaev? I wouldn't. So I think that there's some chances here. If Kamaru shows up and looks good, he's going to have a chance. But I am not going to be backing 38-year-old welterweights with bad knees and 3-fight losing streaks and 1.5-year layoffs. It's just I'm going to be sitting back and watching this one, man. I just cannot. If I choose to back Buckley now and he fucks up, I'll lose my goddamn mind. So I'm going to be staying away from this one. I have no interest in this fight.
Maybe you sit back and, you're watching the fights and they do the walkouts and you wait and see if Usman comes out with those double knee sleeves.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he will be, man. It's not like his knees have gotten better. They don't get better when you get older, Brady.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Especially if you were doing MMA your whole life,
Yeah, just looking at his Instagram, I do see a knee sleeve, right leg. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, another video, double knee sleeved up. Another picture. No knee sleeves in this one. But yeah, those knees are bad, man. He's been talking about those knees for years, for a long time. It's like my knees are bad, like in his early 30s. Now he's 38. Not good. Not good.
Yeah, it's hard to know which version of him is going to show up,
especially after this layoff. How long's the layoff?
Dude, 1 year and 7 months since the Chimaev fight.
Yeah, it's not good.
And I think he took that Chimaev fight like on kind of short notice, right?
Yeah, he did.
So even then, like he wasn't planning to fight. So it's like it doesn't seem like this guy's committed right now to MMA.
Yeah, that's probably why we're getting Buckley minus 250 here. I think somebody might know something here about Usman. He's probably done.
Yeah.
Oh, I know he wouldn't be anywhere near less money 2 years ago. This fight wouldn't even be
700 against this dude.
Yeah, fight wouldn't even be booked 2 years ago. He's 38, and we hear about the knees. But his last time out, he did really well against a guy who was favored to win over Rodriguez and probably would have won if it was 5 rounds. It is a completely different stylistic matchup. Like Chimaev is taking you down. Buckley's going to try to take your head off. Usman definitely has bunions. Yeah, Usman has a wiki feet score of like 3. It's really, really bad.
Not good.
Really bad. Buckley should call out McGregor again. Probably not. If you get beat by Leon, I agree. If you get beat by Leon Edwards, I think you're done. Usman's done. This line should be wider. Okay.
You might be right, dude.
Yeah, he could look minus 500 if he knocks him out. Buckley first round KO. Usman plus 3.5. I think it'd be the plus 5.5 since it's 5 rounds. He'd have to win 6 total rounds. Yeah, I mean if he doesn't get knocked out, I could see it. This might be a live betting spot. You just kind of like want to see how Usman looks for 2 or 3 minutes, and then you might get an idea of whether he's showing up or not. Yeah, I just have a feeling I have a feeling it's not going to look good, especially at the layoffs. You can't take this long of a layoff at 38 with bad knees.
5-round fight too.
Yeah. October 23. Bruh, this is crazy to stay retired. Yeah. Buckley 4th round finish. And Buckley's been looking really good. To Buckley's credit, he's been looking really good. He's been looking very good. Like beating Colby Covington, that's a great win. Knocking out Stephen Thompson is not easy to do.
Yeah.
At all. So, yeah.
Even Ruzaboyev is like 5-1 in the UFC, and he got a win over him.
Yeah.
Luque, Morono. I mean, the guy's on fire. You know, you cannot take anything away from Joaquin Buckley. I've been trying to fade him on the way up, and I keep getting served doing it. So I'm staying out of his goddamn way.
Yeah, I'm not betting Usman here, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. So, what happened? Oh, you're just adjusting your okay. Okay. All right. So what we have to do now, Weezy, is last week we went 3 for 3. We hit the Stat Diggers parlay, check. The piping of the week, check. And the milking of the week, check. 3 for 3. It's time to do it again. And we're going to start with the Stat Diggers parlay of the week. We have some solid options. We have some very solid options this week. I have one leg that I do like. It's a total. Yeah. I think I'll go with that. There's one leg I like. It's a total. It's an under. You like anything like a money line or a total?
In terms of the money lines, I don't think a lot of these favorites are very trustworthy. So I think my favorite is a total as well. All right, it's not going to be the one that you're picking. So
yeah, because I'm going with the under. I'm just going to go with the got hit. Dang it. We told you guys to bet the over.
Yeah, dude, this Abdul Malik's a candy ass pillow fist. Why would you bet that this guy's going to get a knockout? Come on.
So I'll go with that. Under 1.5. It's minus 175 now. Jeez, come on.
It makes sense. I mean, it's hard to see that one going over a round and a half. So minus 175. Leg number 2 of the Stat Diggers parlay is going to be the over 2.5 rounds for Court McGee versus Michael Kesa. That brings this 2-leg parlay to plus 155, Brady.
Okay. Some meat on the bone there. I like it. An over and an under. Seems simple enough. Let's hit it again. Let's hit it again this week.
Go.
All right. Now it is time for the on-site piping of the week. Just to remind you guys, last week we had Azamat Mirzakhanov to pipe Brenzini Barrow on site. And this week we'll kind of go through the list here. So there are some potential pipings. Malcolm Wellmaker, potential piping to pipe Chris Moutinho. I don't know if C is going to pipe Menfield, maybe, but I don't like it. I mean, if Shahbazyan wins, he will be piping. Bellato could be the first like herpes play of the week. Mansour Abdul Malik could potentially pipe up friend of the show, Cody Brundage.
Yeah, and
then Buckley could potentially pipe Kamaru Usman. So I think maybe the top 3, Buckley piping up Usman potentially, Malcolm Wellmaker piping up Chris Moutinho, or Mansour Abdul Malik potentially piping up friend of the show, Cody Brundage. I think those are probably top 3 options there.
Yeah, and even Bellato just at minus 350. Yep. I think he's a good look as well. I mean, those are all potential pipings. I don't want to do Wellmaker because he's minus 1,300, and he's fighting a guy that blocks punches with his face. It feels free.
Then let's do it. I mean,
it feels like cheating, though. Are we cheaters, Brady?
Nothing's wrong with a little cheating here and there.
And are we going to be pricks and put Malcolm Wellmaker into the Stat Diggers parlay to bring it from plus 155 to plus 175?
I mean, we can go Mansour Malik. I don't know if I want to do Bellato just because Paul Craig just pulls a rabbit out of his ass every single time.
No, you're right. And even somebody like Umar C. I mean, if Menfield hits you clean once, you might be done. So.
And even like Brundage, Brundage is live.
Yeah, I agree. He's live. Maybe we'll find a better milking and we just go with the piping to be the hometown kid in Malcolm Wellmaker at minus 1,300 to pipe up a dude with Mountain Dew colored hair and 28% distance striking defense.
I think it's got to be. I don't care if he's minus 2,000. I mean, a piping's a piping. I mean,
a piping is a piping. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll do that. All right, so the piping of the week is Malcolm Wellmaker. to pipe Chris. Does he have a nickname or no?
I don't think so.
Moutinho. Colton?
Oh no. Oh no.
Colton.
Do you have a weapon?
I have my CLV trophy.
Yeah, there you go.
Colton, is that you? I think it might just be the wife going to the bathroom.
Okay.
So Malcolm Wellmaker to pipe Chris Moutinho on site. All right. So the on-site piping of the week. There we go. The on-site piping of the week is Malcolm Wellmaker to pipe Chris Moutinho on site. There you have it. You heard it here first. Wellmaker's going to pipe Chris Moutinho.
I think he will.
All right. So milking is tough because I don't see a ton of milkings. You know, Jamie Lynn Horth, is she gonna milk? Like, have we ever seen Demopoulos really milked? I mean, maybe in her last fight.
Last fight, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
Murata milked her.
Yeah, but she's winning some of these milking. She's actually getting milked and winning because the judges.
I know.
So I don't know if I want to do Horth. Gosh. I guess C could, in theory, milk Menfield if he's able to take him down.
Yeah.
Petroski could potentially milk Shahbazyan, but he's a big dog.
He's a big underdog, but I don't agree with that.
I don't know. I don't want to do Petroski because we're on a 14-fight streak. If Petroski ruins it, I'm going to be pissed. So, Mansour Malik, that's more of a piping.
Yeah, it is more of a piping. I think Umar C's more of a milking.
Yeah, it is. I don't love it. I don't love the fact that it's going to come down to Omar C, but I agree. We don't have a ton of options. So I think the options are Jamie Lynn Horth, Omar C, and that's probably about it.
I agree with both of those, dude. And here's the other thing. Julius Walker came in on short notice and grappled Menfield for the full 15 minutes and really never was put in bad spots by Menfield, right? So if he can do that on short notice, I think the C dude who's legit. I mean, I think this guy's got top 10 upside in the UFC. He's young. He's very good on the ground, mixes his wrestling with his BJJ very well, good ground and pound, good back takes, good submissions, and very good cardio. I've seen him push 15 minutes with that grappling heavy pace as well. So maybe Umar C to milk Alonzo Menfield. I mean, this line is minus 600 for a reason.
All right, we'll do it. So the Stat Diggers milk in the week, Omar C. Okay, and Rain. He has whole milk. Yikes. Okay, so this one worries me, but I was also worried about Jordan Levitt against Holloway.
Yeah.
But this was one that absolutely worries me, which is crazy saying a minus 600 worries me, but it does. But we really don't have many options this week, guys, for milking. All right, so here it is. The streak's on the line. 14 weeks in a row. Can we make it 15? And it all comes down to the Stat Diggers milking of the week. Omar C to take Alonzo down, put him on the mat, and drain him for everything he has. Whole milk. Yikes.
Yep. It's going to be a good fight, man. This is going to be a good test for Umar C. And if he wins and wins that one dominantly, I think you're just going to see him get somebody with a number next to their name in his next fight.
Yeah, hopefully he can come through here. All right, what do you guys like in the chat? Usman hasn't won a fight in 4 years. That is crazy to just even say out loud. But yeah, it's been a long time. I met Vanessa back in the day, so there's that. Okay. Wellmaker should know a thing or two about piping. That's true. Soon you'll be going to the bathroom. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh.
God.
I've seen her milked, but it cost me a stack of ones. Oh, God.
Hey-oh.
No milkings. Horth and C are the milkers of this card. Yeah, only 2 options, which is terrifying. C milk, Horth, some potential stripper milk, frothing bucket of Greek Demopoulos milk. Okay, little monster milk. Would you mind doing a rundown on what a piping and a milking is? Thanks. Yeah, so piping is like kind of quick and painless. You know, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna knock out your opponent. Like for example, Azamat Mirzakana piped Hibero last night, right? We saw Jusung Yu absolutely pipe poor Jekasaragi. Yeah. But with a milking, it's more of like a prolonged, like you milk them over the course of the fight, and you drain them, you break them, and you find that knockout, you find that submission. Like last night, Kayla Harrison took down Pena, drained her, milked her, subbed her with that Kimura. Joshua Van, a little bit of a milked Bruno Silva over the course of 15 minutes and got that late finish. Bruno Silva had no milk left. Ref was forced to step in. So that's kind of how I look at a milking and a piping. Piping more so looking at a knockout, but with a milking more so looking at like a dominant decision or a submission. Piping is a finish and milking is like unanimous decision or a sub. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Brundage, what a sad thing. Charles Jourdain, what we thinking? Yeah, I think he's a live dog.
Yeah, I do too.
Eddie Rocks is the milkman. We have the milkman. He's usually in the chat, but he must be sleeping. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Weezy, we did it. We went through all 13 fights. Hopefully these fights stay on, except the Horth fight. That fight can get called off. I could care less about that one. But yeah, guys, I'll let people know where they can find you, Uncle Weezy, and what you got going on for this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good card. I did a lot of stuff last week for UFC 316, so I'm going to try to just keep it to the core content this week, and you can find that core content on oddshopper.com. I run a service there where you get access to these stats. You get access to 4 hours of subscriber-only content, including Balls Deep Breakdowns with Uncle Weezy, which is a full card breakdown, and Propability, which is a plus EV prop betting show where we break down our stylistic reads in conjunction with my proprietary betting models to find the best plus EV bets of the week, access to the Discord, access to all my tracked bets, a double-digit return on investment this year, almost 20 units to the plus side so far. Right. So, yeah, looking to continue a winning streak and put it two in a row together this week, Brady. And there's a lot of underdogs that are sticking out on this card, so I'm looking forward to diving in a little bit deeper and seeing what I pull the trigger on this week.
Yeah, there's a lot of spots sticking out already on Sunday, so looking forward to that. Yeah, guys, do me a favor, like on your way out, subscribe to the channel. I posted a recap of last night. Going to be doing a recap after every card from here on out. Go check that out. I was like 15 beers deep doing that recap last night, and nobody noticed. That's how you know I'm a professional. I was like 15 beers deep. Nobody said a thing.
Dude, if I drank 15 of the beers that I drink, I'd be in a hospital.
Oh,
because I got like those 7 or 8% ones that you know, it's like 2 like Miller Lights, you know, it's a crazy amount.
Yeah, so guys, go check out yeah, that would be, you would die if you
yeah, that would be bad, dude.
So go check out the recaps. And I'm doing short video content. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. Go follow me over there. Going to be doing like some props. I did a lock of the week last week. My lock of the week was Kevin Holland. Going to be doing some more short form content. So go follow me on those platforms. And yeah, doing some new stuff. So looking forward to that. But yeah, other than that, best of luck. One last time, got to shout out the sponsor. That's our guy Avery. Guys, go give him a follow at MMA_very on X. And thank you all for hanging out. All you guys were awesome, except like there's like a weird moment in the stream where I don't know. I think they call that like a raid, where another channel raids your chat. I think that's what happened today. It's a little weird.
Talking about goat milk and stuff. Yeah, it was weird.
It's very weird. But other than that, chat was cool tonight. Chat was cool. I do got to add some more moderators. My mods kind of let me down. Milkman, Dixon, Uncle Weezy. I even think Lou Betch is a mod. Mods kind of let me down a little bit tonight, so I might need to hire another mod, maybe get an extra mod in there. Martin says, read me, please. All right. What's up, Martin?
Oh, he's saying that the 1x bet, the under 1.5, 40 minutes was -1. Yeah, absolutely. You should jump in because you can make free money just arbing out on the other side. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that. Heck yeah. All right, guys. The mods were not on point. Mods were not on point at all. Dixon, I'm not too happy with Dixon, especially. You'd think Dixon be here and modding the chat, but I'll add another mod. I'll get another mod in there. Best of luck, everybody, for UFC Atlanta, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.